Hello, everyone. Welcome at chess.com India. And this is Junior Speed Chess Championship. We do have here amazing match. Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi against International Master Muhammad Muradli. And here we are, the hosts, Sri and Keti. This is the shortest intro, Sri, of us. I think like they know us as a team already. Sri, this is a great day for us and also for the players because this is just a step to the finals of the Junior Speed Chess Championship for these two players. This is very important match. And they both got in here. They both beat on the way a lot of strong junior players. And now they are in here in the semifinals, and the winner of this will go to the finals. Sri, what are your
the semifinals? Thoughts? The winner of this, yeah.
Will go to So, what are your thoughts of this match? Who is the favorite of this match? Why you think it's a favorite, and how the match will go in your opinion?
It's going to be a long match, Katie. So I came here well prepared with some tea already prepared. It is going to be, I think, a very interesting, well fought, and a long match. I think Arjun is a clear favorite. Now, the chat sometimes thinks that I'm biased, but guys, that's because they are really strong. The Indian juniors, and Arjun is higher rated than Muradli in FIDE ratings by about, I think, close to 140 points. Muradli is rated 2539. He's a very young and talented junior from Azerbaijan. I don't think he's a grandmaster yet. He's an international master, but he's like Christopher Yu, he's an international master, but he plays as well as any grandmaster and better than a lot of other grandmasters. So it's just something that's waiting to be official. We know it's true, but we are just waiting for it to be official. It's one of those kind of things, like some things about VD, for example, about Vidit.
Yes, I agree. And you know what? Our chat usually knows everything better than us when it comes to the titles, when it comes to the norms. You guys, if you know more about Muradli, Muradli, please let us know here in the chat. We're here. We can read your comments. We cannot read you. And greetings to everyone who just joined us for this match. And we're hoping that this will be very exciting for us. Ashri, you mentioned about the Arjun being the favorite, and as your coach of him, and someone might say like you're biased, but I have statistics over here. I'm gonna bring that up. He is a grandmaster. The opponent is international master for now. That's what we know, and also he has higher rating in all the segments on chess.com, online chess. Starting with Bullet, which his rating is 3000. And also his puzzle ratings is really high, blitz ratings and also rapid ratings is over than his opponent. But here Muradli got in here as he played as many games as Arjun, and he's here, right? So, and the match just started. So I predict that first 2-3 games will just give us a picture who is the favorite and how the match which direction the match will go.
Yes, but I think one thing I feel bold predicting about is that Arjun is going to have more time in a lot of these games. He's just really fast in general. And I did give him this advice of, making sure that he plays to his strength. And it's something that Hikaru also possesses. And it's a tricky balance because, he's won the first game, by the way. He's won it on time. Just as we were speaking, he's flagged his opponent. And, we were together just something like 90 minutes ago, Arjun and Nihal. And it's an interesting thing because it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you kill by the knife, you die by the knife. And speed is something like that. It can give you a lot of points, and it can also take points away from you, especially in classical chess. When you make this one very fast move, it turns out to be a bad move, and you end up regretting for a whole month about, oh my God, I missed this point. And
Yeah.
as you level up, the chances you get keep getting lesser and lesser. So every missed chance hurts you so much more. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but it's also very important to back your strengths, because these strengths are the ones which give you these wins. And usually your weaknesses are also your strengths. Like, for example, someone plays really fast, that's your strength, but that also turns out to be your weakness. Uh,
Mhm.
and you make bad moves because of this. This used to be the case in Vishy Anand's career as well for a long, long time. He was known for his sensational speed in an era
Mhm.
where playing fast was just not the thing to do. But he also made a lot of mistakes out of the speed, his impulsiveness. But
Yeah.
Nihal's last words before the match to Arjun was just flag your opponent like you do in
Oh.
classical chess.
That's nice that Nihal is giving the advices to you, Arjun, which can be his opponent in the finals. Okay, this is a question question in the chat. Who wants to see the game and the matchup of two junior Indian junior champions and the players and everything? Like, who wants to have that match? I think I'm pretty much sure everybody in the chat, but you guys, we just want you to be very active in the chat, and we're just looking for more comments from your side, and feel free to share your opinion there. Sri, you are at the same place. Before we go deep into this game and the variation, tell us how far is your room from Arjun's room? So.
Well, it's set apart by at least 5 floors and is in the different direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually quite far away.
Okay.
We are in completely different floors.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at this
All
again,
right.
Katie. Look at it's just 6 moves, and Muradli has spent something like half his time, whereas Arjun has spent just about 30 seconds. And I think he's in excellent shape. He's been training a lot in the last 1 week, and
Mm-hmm.
also playing and staying in shape. So he played in the Rapid Chess Championship just yesterday, and he defeated Alexei Sarana, who's an incredibly strong junior. He's been about
Yeah.
2650 for a long time. And then he went on to lose against Andrekin in the semifinal. But he kind of qualified to the Rapid Championship by saying that he's going to do it a few hours before the championship on that day. So I think Arjun has this unique ability to basically get what he wants. He's like, I'm going to go and get this. I'm going to go and score 10 out of 13, and then he has the ability to do it. It's a bit of a
Mm-hmm.
unique ability, having that kind of confidence. Um, he's still learning to, you know, balance that confidence, not let it become too much. He's still learning, but the kind of confidence, I think a big part of these things are natural to have that kind of confidence, and I think that's a huge asset in Arjun's favor, that he has
Yeah.
this ability. I'm sorry. Yeah, he has this
Yeah.
ability. He's confident.
The thing is, in chess, the confidence is very important, and very often you can lose the game because you don't have enough of that feeling. Yeah, it is a feeling which comes from the experience, which comes from your preparation, and they are very young players. All these participants, the junior championship, and this is just the start of their career, and this is the process to build up the confidence. And yeah, some of them might already have achieved something and feeling more stronger than the opponent, but you can never just feel overconfident, because if you just wait for a bit, if you let your opponent to um, win the game, they will win, and they will win the match. So this game, as we're talking, now we can now focus on the chess part. It's really crazy. So far, what I have seen is that Black is pushing all these pieces. Look at these bishops on g4 and b4, and also centralized knight on d4, which is supported by another knight on c6. Those four pieces are creating a lot of dynamics in the on the board. White is pretty much behind the development. White needs to develop the knight, then the castle, but it's going to be pretty hard because, you know, if you take this bishop right now, which you are pointing to, the knight c2 comes with the check, and you're losing the rook in the end, right? Unless there is something counterplay on the king side on g7 pawn, this is really bad continuation. So that's why here Muradli is taking his time, and there's not a perfect square for the queen. Like you can, where this queen goes, c1, b1, they are so passive. Then another knight can come on e5, and if queen goes on c1, knight e5, and then knight d3 is a threat. So White made this decision to play f3, and this seems to be the move that White is not happy to do.
Yeah, it certainly can become a weakness later on the king side, Katie. I think you pointed it out perfectly. F3 had to be done, but not one of those things you want to do, but one of those things you had to do. And now White gets his knight out, but this bishop can come on c4 and prevent this White king from castling. This knight goes to e5 next. Yeah, knight e5 on the board, rook to d1, queen e7. This bishop can come to c4, knight eventually going to d3. A lot of troubles for White here, and very less time to solve these problems.
Yeah.
True. So Arjun with a 1-0 lead, and he's really upping the pressure on Muradli here.
Yeah, now the queen is hanging. It seems like White somehow solved the problems, but hold on, there's no castle here. If you castle with White, then bishop c4 will drop an exchange. So this is something that probably White is considering now. Castle anyway, give up this. Oh, king to f2. That's not cool. That you have to play such a move to do some artificial castle. That means that
yeah. Do you know there's this format called no castling chess?
Seems like
there's this format called Kramnik loves this format.
Seems like we're having here from one side.
Yeah, it's kind of like no castling chess here. You know, you couldn't castle, so you put the king on f2. This is how they play no castling chess, except only one side is doing this. And queen to f6, bishop to c4, rook to d8. This knight can go to d3. All these threats coming in. For Arjun, it's a paradox of choice, and his only problem is that he has too many good choices.
Yeah, and that's
but I think that's a problem Arjun will get used to having in his life.
Yeah, f5. He's there will not be a problem. There will be just fine. I think f5 that I wanted to really point it out. But the question was, should I go f5 right away, or should I take first the knight on c3, because if I don't like this knight, and now it happens, there is this option of knight to d5, which attacks the queen and also the bishop on b4. And if you want to win a time, you have to give up your light square bishop, which is just happening into the game.
But you can take the pawn here, yeah, with the pin.
Yeah, well, I'm just surprised that White really quickly take the rook on d5. I thought his idea was to take e takes d5 and not to open up the f file.
Yeah, he could have taken e takes d5, but then I think Black gets. I'm sorry.
Rook to e5, queen to e5, and queen c4 check, and bishop on b4 is.
Yeah. Queen takes c4, queen c4 check. I'm not sure if Arjun saw this coming, but I don't think he'll mind this. Keti, king h8, queen into b4, into f3, and the White king still has problems that is not easy to solve. He has the two bishops, but his king is in a huge spot of bother. So I'm not sure what Arjun is thinking about here. I think he really should. Oh, maybe he's deciding between rook f7 and king h8. But yeah, Arjun totally didn't see this coming. He just totally missed rook and d5 for sure.
Yeah, this didn't look pretty at the beginning, this rook d5, but this is still just fine for black, as now f3 pawn just takes too much on the king side, and rook on h1 yet is not developed. So queen b3 here pretty much was
And king h8, what a cool move. He's just ignoring this rook on f7 because queen into f7, there's queen into e3 checkmate.
Oh no, that's a brutal checkmate. Queen c3. White is happy to go to the end game for sure. Just to activate the bishops.
Yes, and now White has got all his pieces out, Katie. I think the momentum is kind of, oh my God, they're down to just 3 seconds and bishop d4. What a move. What a move by White. Oh my God, Arjun, play fast.
Oh my God, it was a checkmate. If black took the rook on e1, there was a checkmate bishop to g7. Crazy.
Yeah, he just managed to not lose on time, and now he's winning a piece. Queen d5 check, queen d5, and he's won the piece. He's going to win this game, Katie. He's going to go 2-0 up. This is totally winning for black. He's up by an exchange. He has an extra c pass pawn, and the white king is still out there exposed. Rook f8, and now he starts pushing the c pawn. Yeah, now c4, maybe some queen c2. Yeah, c4, bishop e4, queen f1, checkmate. Yes, checkmate on the board, and it's 2-0 up for Arjun Erigaisi. Arjun OP chat, get those likes going. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Arjun OP in the chat, and it's another Kings Indian defense on.
That was impressive. How fast they played and how correctly both sides played. That's also incredible how Muradli did all this bishop moves. He was having very bad position from the very beginning, right street. So he somehow managed to get out of it and have some chances to fight. So he's not happy. We can see him just shaking his head. I think he's a bit shocked. He had some chances probably, and he cannot believe that that's happened in this way.
Yeah, he just cannot believe it. It's I think it's one of the worst ways to lose, when you have some chance and you still lose. I mean, there are games when you just get blown away from the beginning. You never had a chance, and I think those are kind of easier to accept. It's a funny paradox, it's a funny psychological thing. But when we get into a nice situation and then we fall, that's so much harder to take. Like you're at 0, and then you get to 5 and drop to 2. That's so hard to accept. You would be a lot happier if you're at 0 and then you go to like 0.2, 0.3 and end up at 1. I think you would be a lot happier than, you go from 0 and then you go to 5 and then you drop to 2 and you're always thinking about, oh my God, I was on 5. Life was so good. What happened?
Yeah, you're thinking about these things. Not always thinking about the chess. That's a problem for sometimes for all of us. But this is just a start, Sri. This is just a start. Muradli will have a lot of chances today. He has to be focused. He has to forget whatever happened. He cannot really help that. And Arjuna has to be really focused, because if he thinks that this already guaranteed himself that he is winning the match, his opponent is really tricky, and we know how the thing sometimes turns. So both players, until the end of this segment, until the end of the match, they will be fully focused, and they will try to do their best.
Yes, they will try to do their best. And I think Muradli has a nice push out of the opening in this game, Katie. Pawn on d4, this bishop on e5, usually the bad bishop, but it's doing quite well here for the moment. And
I like this pawn on d4. It's a protected pass pawn for the future.
Indeed, protected pass pawn. Also, chat, can you point out which is the bad bishop for white here? What is white's worst piece in this position? What is the one piece that he would prefer to be able to improve but is unable to in this position, and the cause of white's strategic problems? What is it, chat?
Yeah, that's a very good
Let's see if you guys are
I will not give any hint, you guys. You're all by yourself. But this is a good point. This is a good point. I like the move h4, that white is just not accepting this position that white has this problem of one piece, but wants to create some counterplay. I read the comment queen in the chat and I got a little bit confused. I didn't really expect that piece to be bad here. that's so funny. Queen is a bad piece here, Tree.
No, but the chat is very, very well educated. Yeah. I think many people are pointing out that it's this bishop, the light square bishop. The light square bishop is the cause of his problem. But after this move b5 and the change in the pawn structure, this bishop does have a nice post on c4. So he gets this pawn to b3, this bishop on c4, and later when the f file gets opened, it will be there will be a lot of scope for the bishop to improve. So pawn on h5, the other pawn on b3, bishop on c4, and this pawn gets to f4. And this actually looks better for white now, Keti. Black will want to get this knight onto d6. The knight is the best blockader.
Castle?
But there are some practical problems getting there.
Oh my god, long castle here. He's playing with a fire, Sri. I don't know. How about somewhere c4 to open up the c file, or maybe knight c8, knight d6, then c4? Oh wow, this long castle, he's brave to do. Actually, I agree that the queen is worst piece, not only now, but always. That's why I always want to trade the queen first.
Come on, Keti. The queen is the best piece. It's an amazing piece. You cannot. I mean, it's a firepower.
I don't know. I would do some live references when you're saying queen is a best piece or something, but I'm not good at that. I hope I will train, and by the end of the year, I can also give some wisdom from my side as you are referring some things. But for now, I'm just 2 weeks, so I'm not going to this competition against you, Shri. Queen before, I like this move. I do like this move.
You just want to trade the queens, don't you?
As we can see the engine now, it gives white here a little bit of the edge. I am really impressed how black is doing this g5, just closing the king side for now, and then castle on the short side. This is pretty effective. Maybe not in this time control tree, because now Arjun is thinking, he has a lot of time, and it's really dangerous when he's thinking. He will surely come up with best idea here. But if you have less time and you do such a creative things like now Muradli is doing to secure his king and then to castle and try to get his rook on c8, I think that's very interesting.
Indeed, black does have a lot of counter chances, although the computer isn't too optimistic. This king on c1 is always vulnerable, Keti, and you're right. I see that your attention keeps going towards c4, raring to get towards white's king somehow. But white can prevent that with something like bishop c4, he can prevent that with bishop c4 and just blocking this C file. I'm a bit surprised Arjun hasn't done it so far, because if it was me, I would have tried to get there as soon as I could have. And what would you play here, Keti? Would you play queen g3 here and try to get your bishop out here to e6? Or would you try to open something up with something like f4? Or none of the above?
White has to do something really fast here. I would go for that's hard. I don't know what I would go for here, because if I go queen to g3, then f6, and you want magically to jump this queen all over and go to d3, that's pretty much a legal move to do. You cannot simply do that, and then your queen is a bit stuck there. And black
But can I do something like f4 here?
I do like f4 here. I do like f4 here more.
I just want to open lines against black's king, and also try and get my queen on to as close to the king as possible. On f5, because I'm attacking the g5 pawn, and I'm also threatening bishop d3. Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is really bad
This
move.
is a really bad move because c4 is going to kill white here.
I don't know what he planned after c4. Bishop c4, rook c8, d7, something like that.
I think he just it just skipped his mind somehow. He missed queen c5, and now he's down. He's just losing this piece. It was such a nice position, such an amazing bishop, such a strong bishop, and
yeah, Shri,
now
I
he's
think
just
he
losing it.
missed queen c5 move. I think he was calculating rook c8 and d7 is just fine. And very likely he just missed this queen c5 move. That happens.
Yeah, and Muradli is not someone who is going to be a pushover, you know. If you give him chances, he's going to take it, and he has taken this chance, and I think that's going to be his first win of this match and an important momentum breaker. I think we have seen already in speeches matches how important momentum is. When you start winning, it's a good idea to keep winning, keep it going, because that really makes it difficult for your opponent to break against the momentum and win game.
Yeah, I
So
agree with that, Shri. I agree with that. And also here, Muradli has more time, extra piece, and he needs this win because after 2 loses at the beginning, your confidence goes down. And
wow, what a beautiful move there. What a queen e3 is checkmate now.
Wow, that was brilliant, queen e3. I was thinking about rook b2 and it's like, is it winning? Why he played so wow, that was impressive. Wow.
Yeah, that was brilliant comeback by Muradli there. Arjun gave him the opening and Muradli took it. And I guess it was already a bad sign that Arjun was also seeing the moves that I was seeing. You know, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be suggesting moves.
I don't know. Me and Neil, we worked really good. Like I was guessing his moves, he was guessing my moves. We worked really good. I don't know. What about your team with Arjun? Shri? I'm not saying
I'm sorry,
anything.
Katie.
I was guessing the moves of Nihal, and it was brilliant. It worked the best way for him, but today.
Maybe you should guess the moves for Arjun too.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. But I don't know. It's harder for me to guess the moves of Arjun, to be honest. Well, here we have this position. This is your type of positions, right, Sri? There's a G pawn pushed on G3, and the bishops, dark square bishops are off the board. Is it good for black, or it's better for whites that you have these dark bishops off the board?
At the moment, I think it's nicer for white because the d6 square is a major weakness. So the lack of dark square bishop, it really favors white here. The queens are off. This knight is just coming directly to d6 KT. There will be a long castle or rook d1 check. And then this knight comes to b5. There will be knight c7 or knight d6 threats in the air. So it looks bad for black. And also, this typical problem with the bishop on g2. The b7 pawn, it's so hard to develop this c8 bishop.
This bishop on c8, if you don't manage to develop, it's going to be stuck there forever. And it's not only one passive piece tree. Also, the rook on a8 stuck there. You can't take it out. Oh, that's really tough position. And I have lost so many games in Catalan with black because my bishop on c8 never developed, and it was just but I know the pain. Knight d7 now attacks the pawn on c5, but our engine is not very convinced with that. Is there a move knight b5 here? Like you take my pawn, I'll take your rook, because knight c7 will trap your rook.
Yes, knight b5 is a move, but black is ready to meet knight b5 with knight a6 almost always. But here, I think the fundamental difference is the tail of these two bishops. Bishop on g2 has a very nice scope of control, while the bishop on c8 is going to have a hard time to ever develop and get into the game. So I think this is like the major problem for black here. And on the other hand, the other pieces are also a bit better for white. This rook on c4 out into the game. The
Mhm.
black rook's undeveloped. I think it's a bit of a long-term advantage, Katie, rather than something happening instantly. It's going to be a tough time for Arjun to get his pieces out. But if he manages that, then it will just be equal.
Yeah. For now, like white has to develop the knight as well, and this knight needs to find a good spot. Maybe knight f3, knight e5 or d4. But this the black's development here on the queen side, like for instance, bishop to d7 might be bet by b4. So before them is the move that at some point white can always push to kick this knight back. And for this, for some reason, the knight on c5, knight on a6, and the bishop also on c8, they are fighting for the same squares. Like there are three pieces and they have only like two squares to go around, d7 and c5. But the moment black finds the solution for c8 bishop, that will be just a very good structure, as black has no weakness in the structure for now.
Yeah, no weakness in the structure for now. Uh, but look at the time management again, Katie. It's hardly 15 moves. So this seems like a habit for Muradli. Yeah? He takes a lot of time in the beginning. I think he makes really strong moves. So that also forces Arjun to think, but it also puts him in these time scrambles. So it's a bit of, again, a double-edged sword, but uh, it's going to hurt him, I think, this kind of time management. Oh, wait.
We
Is
need
it
to
thinking or am
stop
I
the
disconnected?
games. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the game has moved on. I was disconnected, it turns out. Apologies for that
Oh,
chat.
Shri, I just learned that I just checked right now the FIDE profile of Muradli, and he's a grandmaster. He's a grandmaster. I don't know why it's not updated here on Chess.com, but he has grandmaster title, and that was approved at 2022 FIDE Council, which was just like few weeks ago. I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
quite
so he's
recent. So I
officially
guess he just
grandmaster.
hasn't updated, applied for the verification of the title. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, getting back to the game, Arjun is in huge trouble, Katie. Look at these knights. Look at the sad state of the knights. And look at how amazing White's pieces are placed. This is the power of Catalan. Even if you're Arjun Erigaisi, Catalan is Catalan.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking, Shri, when I started to understand more of my pieces. When I was little, I thought that these two knights are hanging out together. They are like friends, supporting each other, and it's stronger when you have these knights just like this. But in fact, they are fighting for the same squares. And in chess, it's very important to have active pieces. And it's very important that each piece has its own role here rather than to guard each other. So then, unfortunately, the practice take me to the reality, and I understood after many losses that these knights are not good when they're fighting for the same squares. And it's good to either trade one of the knight or just find the best squares of the other. Straight a7 pawn is gone, but it is with a cost. Now a7, knight on a7 is for now trapped and cannot move out.
Yeah, but I don't think White minds that, Katie, because also, these knights have to stay on c7 to keep this knight on e7 imprisoned. So White cannot move one piece, but Black cannot move two of these pieces. And if he tries to move them, then this knight will start having places to go to. The biggest danger for Black here is White will get a passed pawn on the a file, and the a passer is the Black knight's worst enemy. It's like uh, it's like the. Do you know what's the weapon against Superman?
What's the difference between Batman and Superman?
No. There's something against Superman, right? There's this one
I
thing.
like Batman more.
I wanted to say it's like the B3 opening against me, but I realized that the A pawn is actually powerful. So I couldn't go with that example. And I had to
I
come up
just
with something.
sense that you stopped somewhere there, and I didn't know how to react with it. But yeah. Okay, let's skip. So white just activated the king, and he wanted to play knight to b5 and trade the knights. And now I think knight b5 makes sense to play. And how black is going to stop a pawn, because white's idea is to push a5 and create a pass pawn. And very often, if you cannot promote the pass pawn, the idea of having pass pawn is to get all the attention of your opponent's pieces on one side, and then the other side will be just weak, and you can get your, for instance, king on the king side and try to get the black's pawns. So a5 is a serious threat here, and if you play knight to c6, white can even consider to take this knight by the bishop and go to the knight in game.
Absolutely, Katie. It's completely winning for Muradli here. The only thing is he has only 14 seconds though. Do you think this will become a factor as we convert this endgame, or do you think the position is so winning for white that he doesn't need a lot of time?
The time will be for sure a factor here, but white has very simple plan here, right? Just to get this king on b6 and then push the pawn.
Yeah, and look at these knights. They never moved throughout the game. They literally never moved. That's the power of this bishop, basically.
Yeah, if you play knight a6 now, bishop e7, and you have to give up your knight. Oh, hold on. This is an idea. You can give up your knight for a pawn and then try to activate another knight and get as much pawns as possible, or trade the pawns on the king side.
True, it is an idea, but I'm not really sure how effective it will be practically. Meanwhile, the chat came up with the answer. Yeah, it's kryptonite. The Superman is vulnerable against kryptonite. That's basically the knight against the Rupa. Oh my God, he's down to 2 seconds. Why is he playing like Nihal?
They don't care.
Muradli is like the Azerbaijan Nihal.
H4. If you don't take this pawn will go to the queen. And okay, this now pretty much can be pre-moved everything.
Yeah, and Muradli equalizes the score with 2-2 there. Yeah. So it's 2-2, and do we have a break now, or is there a new game?
We should have a break, I think, after 4 games, but 3. This is the match which is pretty much like going very interesting, right? So it's not that one side took too much of the advantage, but still both players are into the fight, into the match.
Why hasn't the next game started, Keti? Do you know why? So there is a break. It's the 45-minute, the first half of the 5+1 portion. So I think there's about a 6-minute break at this point.
Okay, we can take this time to refill our glasses with. I would automatically say champagne, but no, we're not drinking any alcohol. We're going to drink some tea or coffee to have more energy, and you guys don't go anywhere because it's a fake one. Yes. We know that you can easily fake that tag of the tea. But yes, you guys, we're going now on a break. We'll be back in a few minutes with more and more games in this match.
Welcome back.
Everyone. Sorry, Shri.
Go ahead, Keti. Go ahead.
Today I did it second time. So it means that I'm very excited. Okay, it means that I'm very excited. But
Who's not excited for this match though?
Yeah. Here we have it is my favorite opening, to be honest, because I do like here the perspective of the attack that both sides have. But I wanted to ask the question to the chat before: who has the better haircuts today? Me.
You mean between us?
Muradli, all of us, or Shri.
Keti, this is so unfair. Come on.
I know, only half of my part of my hair is visible. This is truly unfair. It is to me. So this leaves me out of the competition. So between you three of you guys, we have to define a one winner of the best haircuts today.
Obviously, Chad is going to go with you.
I lied.
But I do notice something a bit different in Arjun's hairstyle. You know, I think his hairstyle looks closer to Hans Niemann's, who is actually the guy waiting for the winner of his match in the semifinals. Do you think he's gonna? Do you think that's kind of a psychological thing to, match with Hans?
I'm sure they both definitely want to have that match, because we have to define who has the better crazy hairstyle. But talking about this match, Arjun is obviously the favorite, even now for now the match.
Wow, there's not a single vote for you in the chat.
I know. I know.
Oh, man. I feel so good about my hair and the chat. This is the best chat in the history of YouTube.
I knew it was
so much better than my chat. I love chess.com India. I wish I can subscribe from more accounts.
Someone clip this one, please. This is the honest words from I told you I'm out of the competition because it only shows half of it. Like I have 2 sides more, so I'm just out of it. And I think, sorry Shri, but Arjun wears it better. It's just.
But yeah, I should tell chat that although Arjun is a favorite, you can't take Muradli lightly. He did defeat Raunak Sadhwani, who was again a massive favorite in their matchup, and Raunak had reached the final of the previous year's juniors feature championship. And I would actually I think I find similarities between Muradli and Nihal. I called him the Azerbaijan Nihal once. I think that's not totally senseless.
Yeah, look at this tactic that Muradli just did. He not only just got d5 central pawn with this trick here, but also just simplified the position, traded the queen, and seems like a really risk-free position here at this point.
Of course, you would like that, yeah? Trading queens.
Yeah, of course. Always like it. Always like it. Wow, there was a bit of upset, I think, for Arjun Shri to blunder such a thing. Nice to d5 was.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there was a blended Keti, to be honest. It might have been, but I'm not sure, because because of the lack of d5 pawn, the white gets the d5 square for his pieces. So this knight came to d5, and now this bishop comes to d5. So it's also kind of a portal from where he can attack black here. Knight to d5, knight into d5, bishop into d5, and once again, big time difference. I think the longer this match goes, the more of an impact it can potentially play, because you need time to. The 5+1 you can get away by thinking a lot. You have time, but
Yeah.
in the shorter portions, it's gonna hurt you more.
Yeah, Shri, sorry, I didn't really notice that white is having here extra exchange. Yeah, we skipped that part. So for some reason we were talking about haircuts, and we blame this chat for sure. Not someone else, but the exchange is gone here. White has extra exchange, and the trading the queens might be even better for white if you have extra material, right?
True,
All
true,
right.
Katie. I did miss that though, so I saw it.
I saw the comment in the chat. Arjun looks like an evil scientist from cartoons, and I blame that very particular message that got all my eyes and attention. So, all right, what's happening in this position, Shri? Rook to f2, not to f1 or f3, because he wants to get this rook on d2 and the other rook on d1 to occupy the only open file. And for rooks, the open file is very important.
Absolutely. The open files to rooks are like, it's essentially like food for the rooks. And black's pieces are very nicely placed here. So practically, it feels practically it feels nice for black.
Yeah. All right, c5 pawn is now under attack. If you play rook c8 and rook c2, you might fall for knight b4. This trade, this is not probably good. So white first pushes this knight, and then he wants to play rook to c2. If you play knight to b4, then yeah, bishop would draw back and then push the a3, but he goes to knight b6, and now black creates a passed pawn on c4. Very likely he can take. Oh, he takes with knight. That's a bit
Yeah, I think he takes with the
surprising.
knight because that gives you more control, Katie. If you take with the pawn, then this knight can be hit from rook b2. So taking with the knight, now, the only way to white has to keep this pawn alive, because if this pawn gets traded, then in this 3 versus 3 endgame, I think even a bishop holds against a rook.
All right. I don't know what's the chances here for white to win, and is it more chances for black to hold this position or for white to win?
From an objective point of view, I think black is completely okay here. I don't even know if white is even better here, because look at this pawn structure, and this bishop is pretty strong. It defends the f7 point, defends the b5 point, and if this pawn comes on a4, he will almost have no weaknesses. So from an objective sense, I think black is totally okay here, but there is a time factor. Arjun has like close to 3 minutes, and Muradli has like 15 seconds. And I think this can create some chances, because white has these ideas with e6 at some point in the future. He's kept the a3 pawn alive for now. So I think there is still some chances. Objectively, it's completely equal. In a classical game, I don't think white has any chances at all. But in the speed chess game, it's not so clear, I think.
Right. Yeah. In some variations, additionally, what you just pointed out with this e6 pawn push, white can always give up the rook for a bishop and a pawn and try to win the endgame with an active king. So what white can do now is to activate the king even further and then try to get bishop and the pawn for a rook. That can be another idea here for white.
Even with something like rook into e6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the rook goes somewhere here, keeps an eye on b4. Black wants to play rook g1 check. He wants to try and take this g5 pawn. But it's still a long way for black to be able to make this a draw completely. And Arjun is a master flagger.
Right. So rook to f1, and black is trying to play really fast here. 4 seconds on the clock.
I think that's kind of Arjun's style, putting the clock pressure on the opponent. But Muradli seems to be one of these rare players who actually can withstand this pressure. He's very good at making good moves with less time. I think he's very, very, very skillful. And the longer this match has gone, I think the more respect I've developed for Muradli. And I don't think this is going to be an easy match at all. Arjun is a favorite, but I don't think he's a clear favorite.
All right. Also, the fact that he is having really long days nowadays, as he's also at the training camp. We don't know much about.
Hey, don't blame me.
That's what I wanted to smoothly go, but you went right. You just walked right away. But okay, and also the time factor. It's late in India than in Azerbaijan. There's not a huge time difference, but it's always good to play earlier. You are more fresh, for sure. And this kind of little things can affect big time the match. At this format you have to just show your best and your skills. I don't like this move e6-3 here. You give up the pawn, but you have now this path king e5, king f6 to go for g6 pawn.
But Keti, look at the anticipation from Muradli. He made this move in just 0.4 seconds. He knew exactly what Arjun was going to do, and he was exactly ready for that. And he instantly made his reply. And now he knows the exact way to draw. He just needs to take this pawn, which I think he will easily do because black has these two passed pawns. The king can't protect it by itself. He'll advance his pawns. This rook has to go away from this file at some point, and now it's just a draw.
Yeah.
So Muradli can play with a few seconds, and he can make very, very decent moves. So
amazing.
Arjun's not going to. So Muradli offered a draw. Arjun declined it. He's not going to give a draw so easily here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also not much point in continuing this game because there is a 1 second increment.
That's true. I think he wants maybe this segment to be ending soon, and then try his best in the shorter time control. That's the impression I'm having.
You are very smart. That did not occur to me. But yeah, it makes sense. It does add up, and it would work to, I think, Arjun's advantage the shorter we go. But you can't be sure because Raunak was leading the match till the blitz portion, but in bullet, Muradli really took over.
Yeah, now both have seconds on the clock. White is trying to activate the king, but a2 pawn is really further, and we have king on the back rank, but that's not gonna be a checkmate.
Yeah, I do hope Arjun doesn't lose this one. It's just going to be a draw now. And that move Muradli made in just 0.4 seconds, that comes from bullet skill. Bullet is all about that anticipation of your opponent's move and reacting instantly. So it does feel like his time management might hurt Muradli, but maybe he knows exactly what he's doing. Maybe
his rating is pretty impressive, 29.65 in bullet. So it seems like he's playing a lot of bullet games and practicing a lot. So he has the skills, and we can clearly see that.
Yeah, 29.65 is a pretty impressive bullet rating, although Arjun is usually someone who usually has a rating above 3,000.
Yeah, so he has more than 3,000, yeah. Yep, this is another opening here. Kind of have this setup of the London system when you play d4, e3, and c3. just like that, and bishop out. And black, in the response of that, started to close the center and then push the pawns on the queen side. Here black's plan is very clear, just a5 b4 and get some weaknesses on the king side, and white's plan is to open up the center with e4. E4 is right away on the board.
Indeed, e4 is right away on the board. And we reach this kind of a setup, a pawn structure, which is quite typical in this opening. But it seems to be favoring black a little more here. I'm not able to exactly understand why there is such a big evaluation though. Maybe it's because of some more like bishop f4, knight into f6, g into f6, and rook c2, bishop b7. But that's not a very practical option. I think Arjun didn't know it was showing minus 1.2. So he goes for a normal practical continuation. And this is pretty equal, Keti, because this white knight doesn't really have any particularly good squares to go to. Bishop to d5. So black will not be able to make much headway here on the queen side. b4 being to c3, b into c3. Not really promising much. And white, on the other hand, also doesn't have any particularly special prospects on the center or the king side. He's not really going to get any g4, h4, g5 in the immediate future. Black will get, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. But what I can just see, and maybe this gives just a very, very small edge for black, is that black has a plan here, and you can clearly say that's playing the queen side attack. And white don't have king side attack. You don't want to push g4 here, h4, because your king also can get active. Black has a pair of bishop and also very active pieces. So I think that's the reason why it can be slightly comfortable to play with black, because you know what's your plan.
Yeah, you know what's your plan, and the c3 is a weak link, yeah, the a2 and the c3 pawn. And also can't help but notice that Muradli has picked up his speed for this game. He's not playing as slowly as I was playing in the last few games. He's playing much faster, but I'm not really sure if that suits his style, because usually I think he gets nice positions from the opening, but this one hasn't gone his way so far. With knight e5, he threatens knight to c6. But can I just take bishop into e5 and take one of your pawns, Keti?
Yeah, let's, because this knight was creating too much threats. Knight c6, knight d7, 4x, but now you can just take this one and take the c3 pawn. White will take the d5 pawn for sure, but now you have rook b2 move, or you can just take this queen back and then push the c pawn. So after all of this, black created a passed pawn on c file. This can be something that black can put up the play on. But one thing that white has is this e5 pawn. And if white pushes e6, this will weaken the king side. And then the queen will get into the game, and black's king will be just a bit weaker. For now, white is taking more time to think, because if you move this queen somewhere too far, then rook on e1 is actually hanging. So you don't have much of the moves now. You have queen e4, you can have queen d1 or queen f1, and that's why here white is just thinking, because you also drop a2 pawn. So if you give up this a2 pawn, at least you need to have then some plan how you can go against it. I kind of like queen d1 here, Shri, with idea to push then e6 or the rook d8 to try to trade this rook from f8.
Yeah, I think the problem with queen d1 is when you play e6 and allow f into e6, you're also weakening the f2 pawn. So this is something you have to watch out. So when you play e6, you would want to recapture with the queen, as it is a check. So for this reason, I think having the queen on this side is better. And another factor is this c4 pawn. So, queen e4, rook c5, and there is potential for trying to get counter play against this pawn. So for these two reasons, I think it's better that queen goes to e4 and there he goes.
Yeah, we had a comment if the board has some lag or white's not updating. No, guys, we don't have any lag. I also have this second browser open just to check check it. White was thinking all this time. He wanted to think where to bring this queen, because this can be important. If he brings this queen passive square, this can cost White a point here. So that's why he took here really a lot of time.
Indeed, Keti. But yeah, Muradli does have this habit of going into long things. Yeah. He maybe he senses this critical moment, and then he goes for a really long thing. Maybe.
Yeah, when I saw the first game and he was flagged, I thought that he had some issues in when he had like low time on the clock, but then what he proved to us was that he can clearly play really well when he has seconds on the clock.
Yeah, true. He can play really well, and he also makes sure that his position doesn't get too bad. So he usually has a good position by the time he reaches these zones of time where he's really short and in trouble. I mean, he tries, even if he's short of time, he tries to make sure he isn't in time trouble.
Yeah, true. So here now, Arjun is taking more time. If he trades the queens, then we're gonna have a rook end game where c4 pawn is hanging, and Black has to worry about this pawn. And here we have this rook c2. White can go for rook e4 and chase this pawn. But instead he goes to rook to a3, attacks the another pawn, and if you guard this pawn by rook a8, then White can activate his rook on 7th rank, rook c7, or White can also chase the c4 pawn by rook a4, c3, and rook a3.
Yeah, you have to be careful, a bit careful as White, because if you take the c4 pawn and Black gets the rook to a8, then this a pawn can become pretty dangerous. I think that's the reason why he rejected this and went for rook a3, because he saw this coming. And Arjun just goes for a simple draw. It's going to be 3 versus 3, and they have to, I think, make a draw pretty soon.
No, well, they're just making the waste some time. They will waste some time. I don't see the time. How long we have left? Maybe somebody.
It's about 23 minutes, Keti.
23. I understand Arjun here. He's tired. He had a long day. He tested his opponent. The opponent is strong, so he wants this time to go away, and then he feels more comfortable, I think, at this point in the shortened time period, and he can try his best. Then in
once again, Muradli offers a draw, and this time Arjun takes it.
All right. So now we have e4, the first move, and Sicilian.
Do you expect to see Sicilian knight off?
Yeah, g3 with a g3. All right.
G3. Well, even if it's not a Catalan, I like this move g3.
He wants to please you. G3
Arjun is a good boy, though.
Arjun is what?
He's a good boy.
We see that. Okay. What's the main idea of g3 Sicilian tree? Is he going to control, like fully control d5 square?
Yeah, I think it is a more of a slow pace setup, Keti. So it's really strategic. In knight of Black plays this pawn to e5, which usually weakens the d5 square.
Yeah.
So White tries to play for the control of that. But he has played this knight to d5, which allows knight into d5 and allows a pawn to be on d5. That's usually not a great way to control this d5 square. But what this gives White is control of the c6 and the e6 squares. And with a4, e5, he has a lot of space on the queen side. So he goes a5, bishop to e3, and this pawn to c4 and eventually to c5. So the objective has changed a bit for White here. He has a pair of bishops, and he will look to gain space on the queen side and eventually try and break with c5. Rook f8, he has to go c3. But I think black wouldn't mind playing something like b5 where oh, he goes for knight b6 with the idea of getting knight to c4.
I like this way of playing here with black. I thought he would go for like knight e8 or knight e7 f5 and then to start this push on the king side, but instead he's going to play on the side he's not very strong, and there's the queen side. Usually white plays on that side, as you just pointed out, with this all c4 b4 moves, and as a result here black got dark square bishop for the knight, and I'm sure black is happy with that, because another knight can also get on the queen side, like knight d7, knight c5, to trade more pieces and to get the opposite color bishop position is something that you will be happy with black.
Yeah, white has absolutely got nothing of what he would have liked or what he intended, and this knight on b3 is misplaced here. It's kind of in the way, and he's not able to move this b pawn at all. Bishop d8 once again preventing this knight from moving. Without being able to move this b pawn, he's not going to be able to get the space advantage on the queen side. And without that play, it's not going to be easy for white to do anything, because on the king side it's black who's stronger. And if you make a break with something like f4, it gives access to squares like e5 for the black pieces, and a lot of nice dark squares. It's an opposite color bishop, so any opening up of the dark squares is going to favor black here.
Yeah, my black got really good position after opening, I think, as it seems like not too much risk here for black, and I don't like this rook on a3 to guard the knight, and the knight on the other hand to be on b3. White has to find the better squares for its pieces, and somehow white should regroup the pieces somehow. I don't know, maybe something like bishop f1, c4, or bishop h3, but no, he goes right away. He finds out that the knight on b3 is not good, and he is looking better square for this knight. For now, knight c1. Is he going to play b4 now, and then bishop f1 and c4 and get the space advantage on the queen side?
I think he would probably start with b3 Keti, but what the question is what he's going to do against bishop to a5. I think if he's able to get the
bishop
pawn,
f1, bishop f1, Sri, queen b6 and b4, drop this bishop on a5.
Okay. But okay, you're right.
If queen c5,
Bishop
then
into a5,
b4.
bishop f5.
Yeah.
You're right. Bishop into a5, bishop f1. You're so strong, Katie. Which is your next tournament?
Training with the best. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not so strong in my own games. Turn out.
No, it's easier when you have a partnership with someone, yeah? Like Muradli plays like 19 moves and you play only one move.
Yeah,
then,
it's just one move at the right time. Yeah, he's taking a lot of time. For sure, he went to this line, he saw it's not working, and he still played it. He played it. So what happens after bishop f1? He says that I'm not blundering anything before now.
He's going to sacrifice a piece. I was actually thinking about it. I thought something like knight e4 should work here, queen to e1, and maybe there's some knight into c3 or something out here. Rook into c3. You're getting 3 pawns for the piece for sure as black.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, was that necessary to do, because black was having really good pieces, but then we saw white's idea to push this before c4, get more space advantage, and can get really, really good for white. So maybe this was a practical decision from Muradli to give up a piece for 3 pawns. And Arjun is, I don't know, seems happy or not happy. He's not happy.
He took the bishop. I thought he would play something like queen e1, and it would go into. But I think Arjun probably missed something here. I'm not sure if he.
Queen is hanging, rook is hanging. If you play queen b2 or queen a2, then what happens after knight f2? because this knight attacks the rook and also throws some discovery check. If you take it with the queen, then you drop a3 knight, and after all, you are down exchange.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
That's why he was not happy.
No, you're not down an exchange. You have like 2 mana pieces for the rook, yeah.
Yeah, you sacrifice a bishop.
No, but I'm really not sure if Arjun saw this. I'm really not sure if he saw this knight into f2. I think he missed something here.
Interesting.
So Muradli outcalculating Arjun in parts, and this is not going to be like the Nihal Liang Avenda match where Nihal was just coasting through. I think this match is going to be a lot more serious, and Arjun loses the exchange this way. For white, he needs to get something on the king side now. He needs to get his knight onto these squares, but that's just never happening. So this just looks bad for white practically. The material is equal. He's trying to get his knight onto e4 towards his f6 square. The material is about equal, but I think practically it's easier with black to play. The threats and plays a lot more direct for black. The knight going to e4, Keti.
Knight goes on e4. For now, this might be hanging, but later maybe like bishop g2, but knight e4. If the knight gets on e4 and queen also gets on the king side, that can create some danger. But what happens if black plays some move like f5 to control that square? Maybe later after bishop g2. Yeah, for now he goes for rook to c3. He threatens rook a3 to get a5 pawn. Also avoids knight f3, knight g5 jumps.
Yeah, another question: how white can get this pawn knight to e4 and potentially to f6 or g5. Yeah, so he starts with rook b1, trying to get this queen out from this fourth rank, and here also has to watch out for some rook c8, rook c2. This makes white's life more difficult. This allows bishop into a6, but you have to calculate rook c8, bishop into b7, rook c2. That doesn't look good for white.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. But how about you take this pawn and after rook c8, bishop c4 or knight b3?
I don't know. It feels like you're losing a lot of pieces. This just feels knight b3. The problem is queen into d5. This pawn is hanging, and the b7 pawn will be protected. And if the bishop goes back to c4, which I think he kind of has to do, I think this just doesn't feel right, Keti. I mean, not just because of the computer evaluation, but also from the perspective of the position. It feels like black is crashing through.
Yeah, black has truly a better position here. E4 is a serious threat, and E3 to open up the king. After E4, maybe white has to play rook E1 and E3 just to trade as much pieces as possible. Oh, we have some trades.
Yeah, you have to keep the queen, and now it looks like Arjun is getting mated.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. This queen on a2 is so badly placed. You can't only just cover the king, but you can't even give a check by this queen.
Yeah, and Muradli senses it. He knows it. He knows that he's winning, and he knows that there's a mate around here, and rook c2, and it's game over. So Muradli actually takes the lead after 7 games here, and at the closing stages of this 5+1 portion, with just about 10 minutes to go, so we might just see a couple more games. It's actually Muradli who's in the lead and who's dominating this match. He has the momentum his way. He lost the first 2 games, but since then he has won the next 3 out of 5 and hasn't lost a single game. And he also seems to be outplaying Arjun almost each game. Now, Arjun had a similar match against Denis Lazavik in the round of 16, the pre-quarterfinal. But to be honest, I think I just feel Muradli is a lot stronger than Dennis, especially in time scrambles, especially in bullet.
Yeah, he's very solid in that portion of the game. When you think that some crazy blunder is going to happen, he's playing really nicely. And now we can also see by the video that he's challenging Arjun with the best haircut. He wants to take the title too. He got the lead and now he wants to take this title from Arjun. I think it's time for Arjun to just
Wait,
to
didn't
shake
I
up
get the
a
most
bit.
votes about the hashtag?
Now they look very similar to my eyes. They cannot control this. They know they are on camera, but that's the last thing they're thinking, and they're fully concentrate into the game for sure. And yeah, I don't know. What was the before the match, Sri? You said that you met Arjun and you had a bit of this, yeah, I don't know, conversation or something. Was he feeling tired, or how could you notice that his
So
energy
Arjun did have
level?
a long training session today. I did tell him a few times to leave a bit early, but the topic we were discussing was so interesting that he just couldn't get himself to go away from there, and ended up staying till about 7:15, which was just 2 hours before the match. And uh, um, but um, but I'm not really sure if that would have made him that tired, because Arjun has incredible reserves of energy. Usually manages to play, he's used to preparing for like 4 or 5 hours and then playing these long games, and doing this on a stretch of 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, a really long stretch. So I don't think that's a big factor. I think it's just the engine warming up. It takes time sometimes, and as the match progresses with time, Arjun will probably play stronger. But if Muradli is also able to match that, he's going to take this match.
Yeah, that's true. For now, Queen 5 on the board. He has a full control there. This can be also some kind of strategy to give some leads to the opponent, and then when your opponent thinks, I got him, I'm stronger, than to show your true colors. But when you play match, this kind of match, you don't really have this kind of strategies. Usually you just want to have big advantage, like I don't know, 3, 4, 5 points advantage, and then just to relax a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but you
just a
can't do that
start.
against
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah.
yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. White is taking a lot of time here at this point after 25. Bishop is hanging, and he's going for knight to a5, and you can see that
But this loses
is
a pawn, no? If I take the knight,
yeah.
both the bishop and the knight are attacked, and I will take queen into a5 and bishop into c3 check first.
Yeah, he's going for it. Oh, Arjun is really sleepy. He's really, really, really sleepy. We can see it. It's proved. It's approved. Wow.
Oh man, it's not my fault. Chat, it's not my fault.
We know it's. We know. We trust you, Shri. We trust you, Shri. It was his fault, not yours, for sure. All right, so there is a pawn for black, and white has this exposed king, which is just pushing white's development a little bit back. So white tried here to get c7 pawn, still trying, and black just ignored that. So what happens after rook to c7? This is a question to chat, not to you, Shri. Oh, come on.
I did a Keti. I just did a Keti.
No, I never did.
It's time to make your reel.
Okay, so how about bishop to c6 here anyway? Like, you bring this bishop here and stop white's bishop to develop for a moment, and you want to play rook to d8 and to create some danger in the center as well.
Nice. It's better when you guess the moves and Arjun makes it rather than when I do it, because we have seen how that works.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the lead now.
Please do.
Bishop to d3 gives up the g2 pawn, and this is kind of counterplay. If you take this pawn, then rook g1 attacks the bishop, or rook c1. I didn't see that was coming. Rook c1.
But I can just play c6 here, yeah?
Should we stop doing that? Sometimes suggesting bad moves.
I'm sorry, Arjun.
Maybe bishop c6. Yes, there we go, Arjun. Bishop back to c6. You don't need to ruin your pawn structure, right, Sri?
Yeah, but the bishop is very passive now, yeah. And after bishop e4, you have to take and play c6 anyway.
Yeah, now this is a bit different because bishops are off the board and you don't have this bishop stuck on g2, right?
Yeah.
And another thing, what he's considering maybe is that at some point to take the pawn on h2, but first he goes on c6.
Yeah, now you're okay with this move, yeah? When Arjun plays it, you're like, oh, okay, he's played c6. When I played, oh, you're like, oh, don't ruin your pawn structure. Bad Sri.
No, I think everyone sees a difference here. Their bishop's off the board, and bishop on g2 was not the best bishop. There was a stack there. That's the main point.
But he's blended his pawn now, Keti.
He did?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I don't think he saw that. I don't think that was intentional.
He didn't even blink when he did that. Queen h.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's blended this. He's just blendering stuff. He's just missing. He's on a tilt, I think. He's not in a good mood.
Oh wow. That is huge.
Do you think Arjun is really falling asleep here?
Oh my god. Someone sent him coffee, like big glass of coffee to...
Should I call the room service?
Can you do that? Coffee from you and the cake from me, because sweet sugar is what he needs right now. Okay, let's order, Shri. He goes castle? That's crazy.
The problem with sugar, it gives you this rush, it gives you the spike, but then it drops you really low. Keti, what if I play queen d6 here? What would you do, chat? Let's say I play queen to d6. White to play. Oh, he played too fast.
You wanted to play queen h7 and rook h1 checkmate.
Yep. This was the problem.
Yeah. King is just cut it. So after f6, is he going to take 2 rooks for a queen if rook h1? Probably.
Yeah, he would be happy with it. He would be happy to, get into a position where he's not completely losing. Like he needs to survive. He's surrounded, It's like enemies have entered his home with all these guns. So he's just happy to survive with his life.
Yeah, last 3 minutes now in this portion we have here, and if this
and now with f4, maybe there's some counter chances. Yeah, maybe it's white king who needs. Oh, rook d3 check. Rook d3 check. Let's go. Rook d3 check. And now what? Queen g1, queen into f2, rook b3, and yeah, rook b3 and queen b2 and it's checkmate. Wow, what a turn around! A turn around that was just the win that Arjun needed. And that time management of Muradli, it finally hurt him. What I've noticed is he does go very low on time, and if Arjun is able to keep the position complex, then Muradli makes these mistakes and time trouble. But if the position gets simplified, then then Muradli is able to play them comfortably even with 5 seconds. So I think Arjun needs to keep the game complex. He needs to maintain the complexity. Our coach is allowed
Right.
to give advice in the breaks. Katie, how's the Junior Speed Chess Championship
I
rules?
think with the room service you can also just include the letter of advice. Keep it complicated. I think you can just include it. Sri, there's a question. Probably you know it better. Is Arjun a coffee person?
No, he doesn't drink coffee.
I think to be honest, coffee comes by the age. Like at his age, he does not need to be hyped by coffee. But at our age, we definitely need some boosters, and it can be coffee.
Katie, what are you talking about? I'm at Arjun's age. What do you mean at our age?
Yeah.
I declined to play in the JSCC in this edition because I wanted to commentate.
Yeah, me too. They invited me too, but I said, not this time, maybe next year. Oh, by the way, Shri, I was asked in live if I was playing the Junior World Championship, and this question was like serious. And for a moment, I thought they were joking, and I was like, "What?" But it was many years ago. I was already 20 or 25 years old, and they seriously asked me if I wanted to play under a Junior Championship. I was like,
so did you play?
No, I declined. I wanted to commentate, so I said no.
Yeah. It's understandable, yeah. You can choose to play, you can choose to commentate.
Yep.
It's just more fun to commentate.
Absolutely. It's more fun. So this position three, what we have here, I think that is exactly what we were saying, that Muradli is feeling very comfortable even when he has low time on the clock. So for now, he has this very nice outpost for knight, and he can double the rooks on d file. There's a backward pawn on d3, and slowly he can push in this position.
Yeah. Again, it's a nice technical position, which is kind of in Muradli's favor, Katie. The thing is, I can send this message, keep it complex, but in these days, it might confuse Arjun on whether I'm talking about chess or relationships.
True. Yeah, don't do that. Don't make him complicate, even more confused.
Yeah, it's gonna make things more complicated. Yeah, in every sense possible. So maybe I'll trust Arjun to figure it out himself, this pattern of
he has to make his
play.
own mistakes to learn. Yeah, true.
Yeah, you have to sense your opponent. Yeah, it's very important. It's not an easy thing to develop. It comes with experience, though. With age comes wisdom.
I don't know. Are you still talking about the relationship or chess point? But both are. I agree, because both works the same way. But here, even though this position for now it seems okay for white, it's very hard to hold. And what Arjun has to do is just to keep as much time on the clock as possible. Then he will have more time to find the most precise moves here, and just push Muradli's time down. Down. But yeah, position is just not so easy. Look at this knight on e2 heavy, not much of the squares, not too much of the perspective now in this position.
Yeah, but Arjun has some chances. The c5 pawn is soft, so maybe take cb, rook c1. I don't see how black defends this pawn. C into b5, into b5, rook c1, or
knight
c2. He goes for
5. Knight a5, we take c5.
Yeah, you can take
b3.
this b3 pawn, but who cares about d3 pawn, Katie? I get two of your pawns.
Yeah, true. That's also true.
But this is why he went with the rook c2. If rook c1, then when I take the c5 pawn, you have knight into b3. But with rook c2, Knight into b3 is not as effective.
Yeah. Um,
So do you think Arjun is like back in this contest?
yeah, that's what also engine says. It is slightly better for white. So I don't see any better way than not to go for b3 pawn. You can push f4, this kind of breakthroughs on the king side, because this pawn is simply hanging. That would be very happy to get a roll in the game, to have a one move in the game. He goes knight to d4, and then what? And then b3. Okay, he can also take this pawn from there.
Yeah, but things have turned around. Right? It was black who was having the advantage. It was black who was exerting the pressure, but now it's actually white who's doing it.
Okay. Black did not take the pawn on b3. Instead, he kept the knight on d4 in guard to guard the b5 pawn. And now, on the other hand, black is attacking a3. I do like this move of black, but white takes now the knight on d4. There's a check.
And now he goes king f4, right?
No, come on.
Yes.
This should be bad.
Yes. Why?
Oh my goodness. He went for it. If there's a checkmate, we blame you, Sri.
There's going to be a checkmate, but for black, not for white.
That's also true. You can always push e5, check king g5 next.
Yes, with the king, we move forward. Just don't play rook c7 now, trying to check black with e5, because then it would be e5 checkmate. So you start with e5 check. Now I think you can even go king to g5, you know.
Yeah, but king g5, there is this pattern of rook d7, rook f7, f4, rook f5 checkmate.
Yeah. So he takes the b5 pawn first. You get this rook to c1, and all these pawns are falling, Keti. So I think Arjun's going to go in the break with 5-4 lead. What do you think? And chat, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's able to turn the tables around now on his in his favor. Rook c7, rook b7 is a checkmate straight now, which leads black's rook to be very passive on the back rank to guard all these threats. But now rook c8 can come, and then rook b8, rook c6 is his choice to go after e6 pawn.
Right. Rook b6, the rook goes to c6, and
but you cannot really
d4
take
pawn also falls. I would take the d4 pawn first, because if I take the e6 pawn, then maybe you come with some counterplay. Yeah, rook b6.
Yeah, he goes for it. Okay.
It's just completely winning for white. The game has turned around, and Arjun's clock pressure is really working well in his favor.
What's black's idea here by rook f2? He wants to get this rook c1, f1, and checkmate white's king.
Yeah, but the only problem is it's
you might
slow,
get checkmated
and
first.
Arjun has closed it. It's 5-4 in Arjun's favor. At the end of this 5+1 portion of the Junior Speed Chess Championship, there are 2 more segments coming up. There is a 3+1 for 60 minutes and the 1+1 for 30 minutes. But before we get that, there's going to be a 6-minute break here for the players at the end of this 5+1 portion. So the players are going to have a break. We are going to have a short tea break. But before we get into the break, do hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's get that support going for Arjun. He's up by 5-4, but there's a long match ahead. Muradli has shown what he's capable of, his strengths. Arjun has shown his strengths. It's a battle of opposites, and it's going to be a long and exciting match. So stay tuned. We'll be back after a short break. This time, neither of us, yes.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Uh,
Welcome back to the Junior Speed Chess Championship quarterfinal between Arjun Erigaisi and Muradli Mohammed. We are at the beginning of the 3+1 portion. The game has just begun. And let's quickly zoom into the game. Which guessed the opening, Katie?
yeah, Muradli likes to go Catalan, and he delayed his main line. He didn't went for d4, but at some point he's going to play this d4 and get some space in the center. And Arjun just decided to develop his light square bishop first, even castle. So in the previous game when we had a Catalan system type of position, white won really nicely, where black had always this problem of the light square bishop, and now we have a bit of updates for both sides, mainly for black. The bishop is developed, but three now, as the bishops are off the board, very often c6 square is weak, and white is using that weakness very nicely.
Yeah, but here I don't see that problem, Katie, because black has the time to get a good control of the c6 square. So, queen to b7 check, rook to c8, rook f d8, and everything is under control. Yeah, queen to a4, queen b7 check, there's going to be rook c8. Knight c5 is also an option. Yeah, he's gone for that. So I think black is completely okay here, and Arjun knows how to play against this setup, the new Catalan, without the d4. If it was like a proper full Catalan, even I would have been very unsure about whom to support in this game. But since it's not a full Catalan, I am I don't have as much confusion.
Have excuses. You always found excuses. That's amazing skill. Okay, yeah. I agree with that. We don't complain. We pretend that we agree. So you're 95.
Katie, I'm speaking the truth. I don't see what's the confusion here.
Okay, we agree. Now black is the one who's gone for more aggressive and more active. He just went for 95, 94, 83 to get this dark square bishop. Now there's a check, and black is fully developed. He can even trade all the pieces now, and to be happy in this end game. It cannot go wrong now.
Yeah. I don't think it can go wrong, and Arjun marches with his king. But he has only a 1-point lead, Katie. And so far, I don't think either sides have shown major dominance with the white pieces, have they?
Yeah, that's true. But I have to be honest, I did not really thought that Arjun would be the leader of the match after the first segment, because we saw amazing play from Muradli and some blunders from Arjun in some games, but somehow he put himself together and he won very important last round. And now in this portion, he is starting with a point ahead. Here we have this position. I think it's time to trade the bishop for the knight, not to allow white to play e5 and drop this bishop and go for d file. And the knight end game with this knight on c5, it's never be the worst.
I'm happy, Katie. It's a good sign. Arjun making the moves that you predicted. And he's been winning ever since that's been happening. So he has taken bishop into d4 as soon as you suggested that. But Muradli wants to keep going. He wants to try and keep having that little bit of pressure, b4, rook to c6, just keeping that small bit of pressure.
But yeah, black goes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's pretty easy to neutralize for black as well, because it's, just one threat to defend against.
Yeah, I do like this rook d7 move. It's not only prepares rook to be doubled on d file, but also avoids rook c7 move after b4 that we have now on the board. And do we have move knight d3 here? This knight looks pretty active, but it's also kind of stuck there. There's no move. If you want to move the knight next move, you can't. So now black has to make a decision. Is it Is he ready to go there, or is knight b7, knight d6 is equally good, I think, or even better?
No, I think he
Knight
moves
d3.
forward. Yeah, he moves forward and he's taking over Katie. Look at this. F into g5. What does black do? Chat. Chat. Come on, come on, come on. Let's be fast. Let's be fast. Let's be faster than Arjun. F into g5. What does black do? Quick, 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 quick.
Quick. Okay, and also guess which animal or bird makes that sound that Sri just did.
I'm not a duck.
That's funny. Shri's new nickname is a duck. That's official, Shri. You cannot avoid that. But how Arjun is doing here, this is incredible. He's getting more and more pressure now. See, open file, he's controlling that. F4 pawn is under attack. Knight on d3 is stuck duck, but it's a strong duck. And wow, this might go.
You can't stop thinking about ducks now, can you? When I was a kid, I knew this. He's one on time. He's almost one on time. He's almost one on time. 1 second for Muradli. 1 second. He's barely surviving there. Do you go knight b2 here?
Knight before, it takes before, and then rook c7.
No, knight b2. Knight b2.
You said knight before. Okay, the game is over and he lost Muradli on time. First game of 5+1 segment and first game of 3+1 segment. He's just repeating.
Indeed. And meanwhile, a lot of correct answers in the chat there from Praveen Bharati, Raghu Bansal, Atmaram Tukaram. Yes, knight e5 was the right move there. And we have this amazing, strong chat, beautiful chat that I'm really proud of. Also, yeah, talking about ducks, I knew this duck personally for a really long time when I was young. His name was Daffy.
Duck what?
I knew this duck called Daffy, who was a really fun guy. Years later.
This is a male duck, guys. In the chat, I just dropped it. That's true. Okay. Here we have another Sicilian. Yeah, that's a male duck.
Do I have a blue face?
Yeah.
As I
understood, male duck is more pretty and colorful than a female duck to attract more female ducks. I don't know how that works in your case, how colorful you are, but you better be.
By the evidence so far, I don't think it works.
Okay.
I don't like Arjun's opening here in this game, Keti. It feels very anti-knight off. He has a terrible position. I don't know what his preparation is. It feels. I don't understand why he's going e4 so much though. Oh, maybe to keep the game complex. Keep it complex.
Keep it complex. You wanted to write him complicated, and you write complex, right?
No, I think. Complex is the right grammatical word here. Complicated is something that I think complex is something that denotes something ongoing. So you want to keep it complex. Oh, nice.
Wow, that. If queen g7, bishop f6, and you're losing right away. So don't do that kind of moves. It's bad, but you have to. Oh! Excuse me?
What are these guys doing? Why don't they like their pieces? Why are they just sacrificing them?
You know what? if f takes c6, then queen g7 was making a sense because now g6
Queen
square
g6
was
check. Queen g6 check is the idea.
and then queen e4. Yeah, okay. I wanted to take g5, g7 pawn on the way, but yeah, that's faster.
Greedy Keti.
Queen c4, knight g7.
I'm just coloring all the pieces that are hanging right now.
To yeah, rook d2 as well, and pawn on c2 as well. At some point, be hanging.
It feels wrong how white has played here. But having come this far, he has to kind of keep going. Yeah? He has to keep it complex. Attack the queen.
Okay, how he's going to?
He has to play b3, but he has to
97.
start with a check because the knight was attacked. Yes, he has to play b3. It's that kind of a situation.
The emergency situation.
Yep. Like, you know, when something's on fire, so you can, for example, you would never want to lose your phone. But if you're escaping from a fire, you don't mind losing your phone.
True. True.
Yeah,
And
he's played it.
yeah, while you brought this topic, very often there are some cases of fire alerts at the hotels, at the chess tournament. And this is a question to you also, Shri, and to chat. What is the one thing that all the chess players are taking with them when there is a fire alert at the hotel?
Laptop? The laptop?
You are a true chess player. It took you 1 second to answer the question. Yeah. Okay, b3
I was
is on the
once
board.
logged out from my room. There was a bomb alert in one of the Aeroflot Open tournaments, and during the middle of the game. And before the game, my room key was not working. So I thought I'll get it fixed after the game. I just went to the game, and there was this bomb alert, and I was not dressed for the weather outside. It was like -11, and I was just wearing a shirt, no warm clothing at all.
Or any clothes at all?
No, I had some clothes on it. It was not like that. Sure. But it was not for the -11 climate. Just a normal shirt and trousers. Yeah. And jeans. And I'm not sure. Do you think Black's king is kind of similar? You know, he has some protection, but is it enough protection against these horde of white pieces?
First of all, I have some difficulties to catch up what just happened because a lot of pieces were traded, and now as long as there's no checkmate, I think white is just happy to escape. And now, yeah, white is down of exchange, but these two knights are very promising. I do like these two knights against the king and the rook on h8. You can always push this pawn forward, so up to even h7. But for now, you should not drop the knight because this knight you really need.
Oh, knight g3 is nice. Now, do you think it's going to be a draw, a repetition?
Yeah, happily taken by white for sure. Black is thinking to go
I think
on
for
the
a
other
while
side.
It looked dangerous for Black though.
Yeah. But he was thinking, I think it just took a second to think of rook to king d8, but it was very practical decision not to go there because you can easily lose that kind of game when you have second on the clock, just 1 second.
Yep, and we are back to the good old London system. The old London system. Chat, what's your verdict on the London system? Yay or nay?
I recently lost the London system in the over the board chess, and I can say that it's not easy to go in that lines. Like it looks so boring position, so like no a lot of ideas, and it exhausts you because you have this slightly worse position when you play against London, and your opponent can just get you tired and took your points from you.
Yes, but this game doesn't seem to be going towards that direction. Arjun has a nice active position out of the opening, and he is, having a nice center and pieces active on the forward. And I also feel like Arjun has kind of deciphered what uh, works well for him in this match. I can see that he really seems to be aiming for complex positions. I'm not sure though if it's a coincidence or if he's consciously doing it, but I feel like he's worked it out and it's working well for him so far.
Yeah. That's how we actually sensed Tree, right? There was your suggestion after like seeing one or two games right away, and very likely Arjun also feels and understands his opponent. I don't know how often they play, and if they have ever faced each other. Usually, when you have when you're older, you have experience to play with your opponent more games. And when you have never faced your opponent in the match, you just need like one or two games to understand what's the style. And clearly Arjun understood that he should just keep it as complicated, complex as possible. And yeah, that's the way it works. And Shri, now white gave up G2 pawn, black gave up H pawn here. Both kings are extremely weak for now, and seems like one king is even more in danger. And according to the engine, it's white's king. White's position. Maybe it's other piece, but white's position. And what's the move? Is there somewhere f5 just to trap the bishop?
Yeah, f5 was what I was thinking about. F5, bishop into f4, and I'm not sure how this line goes. This is one way the game can go. But yeah, I think this knight e7 looks nice. Yeah.
But f5, bishop g6, knight g6, bishop g6, and then f4. You trap the bishop.
Yeah, but what if you just start with bishop and f4, no?
Okay.
So knight to e7 played by black. I think this is a nice move. You're not allowing white to execute any of the threats out there. So knight to e7, and at some point, black will start playing something like g5, you know. Maybe that point is right away. For white, the problem is, this terrible pawn structure. The pawns are disconnected, and strategically, this is bad for white. And if the queens get traded, or if there is a lot of trade, this will really hurt white. And also something like b6, bishop a6 is interesting. This g7 point is something white will look to target, but after g5, it's no longer a target.
Yep, g5 we have on the board. Knight is under attack. Maybe white has to take the knight first on f4. That would happen, and knight to g6 now to survive the pieces. After knight g6, you can play king to g7. Oh no, you can't do that. King to g7. Knight takes knight, queen takes knight, queen g6, king goes back. That's a trap.
No, now just queen d7 or queen e7.
Okay.
Bishop is trapped. The point was if bishop into d2, there was queen h6, but queen e7 is really strong and he loses this piece. And if Arjun wins this, he'll have a 3-game advantage with the momentum riding his way. And also, he has been having the upper hand for so many games in a row. And I think that's not by accident. He really seems to have worked it out.
Yeah. If he takes that lead, he can have a small nap. Between the runs, he really needs that 2 points. Oh, not 2. It's 3 points.
Do you really think he's going to have a nap after this match, Keti?
I don't know. Our producer took off the video, so I think he's having one.
No, but just imagine his age. You don't need to say him. If you find it difficult to imagine his age, you can get it from me instead, since I'm around the same age as Arjun.
Yeah, you are.
What do you
Here we
mean by
have.
I am?
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't complain. Yeah, you are. That makes me also in his age, which is I'm pretty okay with that. But Sri, this position here, this setup that white goes early g4, and then maybe at some point he wants to play h4, knight h3, knight f2, or queen d2, bishop h6. This gives this kind of setup a little bit more space in the King's Indian, and I believe this is really nice way to go against King's Indian. I always want to get this position, but never go in there. Never know how to go there, but always want to go.
I can have Arjun, give you a masterclass.
Yeah, I need that.
The next time we are in a tournament together. Arjun is very good at these types of systems against the King's Indian, and he also enjoys playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very nice. And yeah, go ahead.
The King's Indian is an opening in which not everyone loves to play with the white pieces. Yeah, not everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah, but Arjun really likes it.
Mm-hmm. Because it's quite complicated, it's quite complex, a lot of lines, you have to memorize some of the lines, and some of them are quite engine look like lines and very complicated. That's why it cannot be everyone's taste, right? It's just too sharp to my eyes. And long castle, here we have this king here on the long side, seems to be safe to me. Like, I don't believe there will be any strong queen side attack on that side.
Yeah, no, the position is pretty closed all around. This is one of the more annoying things about the King's Indian, about how closed the position is, which means there is less of direct play. Arjun is looking to trade the light square bishop here. And the one good thing for white, he always has this option of playing d6. But without pawn breaks, the position is so close. And the only way to get something moving is some kind of a sacrifice. But that's also not so easy to achieve here.
Yep, true. We have here long castle for white. It's a bit unnatural thing because king side is closed, and usually you want to go to the side where it's already closed. But white couldn't safely castle on the short side because black always could have this knight g5 kind of sacrifices there, and also, as you just pointed out, maybe it's white who wants to sacrifice on the king side.
Yeah, but how do you do it? Apart from just moving around your pieces and flagging your opponent. Arjun is just such a master flagger, yeah. There are people who try to flag your opponent when the time gets low, and then there is Arjun who looks to flag his opponent from the beginning.
Okay, for a moment I lost the board. I think I'm gonna get it soon. Do you also lost the board, or it's fine for you?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but we have the maybe just use the live board for the moment, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, white went all the way to king side. I missed that.
Yeah, white went all the way to queen side. And black is getting this b5 break. So things have turned around in black's favor.
Yeah. White took too much time, I think, with this long castle and just going all the way back on the king side. This gives black clearly some chances. For now, it's not something that you can see right away attack. Queen b7, rook d2, this b2 pawn is guarded. But we might have some breakthrough like c4, a3. So he couldn't really wait for long, and he went p3 now. But black is not really enforced to take this pawn because there is a pin. and he can at some point even push c pawn now.
Yeah, somehow Arjun has done better with white in this match rather than with black. And with white, every time he has had to go b3, that already means the situation has become not so great. And we have it here again. Arjun is kind of just surviving, but these kind of situations are tricky for black Keti. You're better. You have to kind of do something. And the thing is, this, but if you start taking too much time, you get under pressure. This is what happens to Hikaru's opponents in general. They know they are better, they start burning up time, and then Hikaru starts taking over.
Yeah, I also noticed that in many positions he's just giving up the advantage and just.
By the way, what do you look at the board here? Look at the situation. White just played black played rook d2 check, queen into d2, rook into b1, and at one point Arjun had sacrificed his rook with b into a4, with the point being that there's a perpetual check if black took the rook with queen b8, queen b7. That moment passed, and now it looks like it's just going to be a draw. Yeah, it's just equal. The rooks have been traded. In fact, Arjun can win this if he plays queen e4.
Yeah, he can just activate the queen, get some checks, and then queen c6 at some point can be really.
Oh my god, the game is turning around, Keti. Queen f6 check, queen g6. All the pawns are falling with checks.
And sure, you can take g6 pawn and then h5 pawn, and when black starts to give you checks, you can always hide king h3, king g4, king f5. That's so bad for black. White has a hiding point. Wow.
Yes, white has a hiding point, and he has his two dangerous pass pawns now, h4 and g5. The queen, I think he can even just take the d6 pawn, and then e5 and f4 is also falling. The whole chain is falling. It's like a domino effect. And if Arjun wins this, he goes to a 4-point lead, Keti.
That's a lot. That's a lot, actually. 4 points is a lot. He can officially take a break for a nap, but still this game is in progress. They both have a few seconds on the clock. Black got really active. Oh my god, queen d2 now is a threat.
Oh no.
Jesus,
not queen d2 now.
Oh, that was painful.
What did you do, Keti? Why did you do that to Muradli?
I mean, why it's my blame? I said, don't do that. Wow, there was a bit of blunder there, and the game was aborted. I think we have a break.
Yes, we have a break. It's the halfway of the 3+1 segment. Arjun leading by a score of 8.5, 4.5. What an amazing performance by Arjun. Do hit the like button, guys, for Arjun's amazing play, because he's in the lead and I can't go like, let's get in Arjun support, because things are already going well. But do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we will be back after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the quarterfinal of the Junior Speeches Championship between Arjun Erigaisi and Muradli Mohammed. We are in the 3 plus 1 segment, and Arjun is leading by a 4 point margin. He has a score of 8.5 to 4.5 and has been dominating in the last few games. There is a break right now in the 3 plus 1 segment, but we are set to resume at any moment. And the match is set to resume at any moment. So, chat, what do you think? Is Arjun going to maintain his lead, or do you think Muradli has a chance to recover after this much needed break? The match was a 3-4. Arjun was trailing by 3 to 4, and he has scored 5.5 points since out of 6 games. He's been in total domination mode, and he seems to have figured out Muradli's Achilles heel. And Murali had this tendency of going into time trouble, and when it was simple questions, he was able to play really well. But when things got complex, as they can get quite often in chess and life, he hasn't been able to maintain that same level in time trouble. And Arjun has been winning ever since, or so it looks to me from what I've seen in the match so far. Will Murali able to get back? Will he be able to strike back? Will he be able to find an answer to Arjun's strategy? We will know. We will know. But we are ready here with our tea and with Katie commentating alongside.
Tea and Keti. Tea and Keti. That's a bit of rhythm over there. Shri, the game will start soon. They look like really focused. Maybe they have already started. Okay, can we just refresh the board? I think they have started. And
the game has started?
Yeah. I think it was a very much needed break for Muradli as he lost this queen endgame. He definitely needs to stop for a moment, think a little bit, just get some fresh air, refill the cup of coffee that he's having. Just to stop for a moment there. I see the game has we're gonna bring the game very soon. It's nothing crazy yet. We're going to get the board soon, and we're gonna see it just have 15 moves happened. And they are playing extremely fast. Really, wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But I don't know. For some reason, I can't seem to just get the game at all. I guess we are just gonna.
I'm gonna link you in the Zoom one I have.
Yeah, that we have. Oh yeah, that we have. Okay. We are back, guys. We are back with the chess part. The game has started. 18 moves on, and it looks like Arjun has the better of the complexity.
Complexity.
It's amazing. Keti rhymes with everything. A cup of tea, complexity.
Pretty flexible name.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So actually, the moment I saw this was already too complicated, and a lot of things were hanging. And at some point, they started to play very fast, and we had queens off the board. The white rook is gone there, but for some reason, like I have a feeling white has more pieces, which is not correct. It's
black who
black has extra rook, yeah, but somehow it looks like white has more material than black. The computer, the engine says it's equal. How
did
this
can
be
though?
Equal? Okay,
do you want to have a look at how this came about?
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah, because we have a small board, live board just down of our video.
Yeah, we had something like this, and then knight c5, and here I guess some d3 was coming in, so white went for e5 and gave away this rook, but he has 2 pawns compensation, and I guess the point is this knight on e1 could potentially be trapped. It all depends on that, but if black plays bishop c5 now, I don't think this knight is going to be trammed out here, Katie. I think there's a way back for the knight. Bishop into d4. Or just king c7, rook g7 also works.
Okay, how about knight c3 now? Knight c3, knight d5. There's also
knight
b6, knight b5.
But the thing is, when you play knight c3, I can just ignore it and take rook into g7, because if you take this knight, then I take this knight. And with b6, yes, you get this knight b5 check, but I can also just go back, or even take this.
Yeah, that's true. 94 seems not to be guarded, but I kind of have a feeling that it should be a combination of knight c3, b6, knight b5 kind of move.
Yeah, but it's clear that white is struggling here. Yeah, it's black who has the upper hand. The computer was showing nice options for white, but it was clearly not. White was not intending to go towards this. That much is clear. Now this knight is easily coming out. This rook has been developed because this b6 move, and this g7 point is also falling. So it's a kind of designable position for white.
Yeah, and 3 seconds on the clock against 40 seconds. So all this went really bad for white. Maybe this was some sort of like trap in the opening, or it was just a calculation that lead us to this game, and it's over. Black won another game, Sri.
And Arjun has a 5-point lead.
That's a lot. And from that moment, when Muradli had 3 out of 3 to 3, Arjun also had 3 points. Then he got 1 point. He became a leader of the match, and then they made 1 draw. And ever since, he lost all the games. So when you're losing too much of the games, you're losing some confidence as well. And at some point, as we very often say, it's just good to make a draw. Just tap for a bit, get some points, at least half.
Yeah, but it's not easy to make even a draw against Arjun,
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I have tried it a lot. Not easy. Now, black is in trouble in the next game as well. The f7 pawn is hanging. And if you play king e7 to defend it, then bishop c5 check wins this pawn. King has to move and the f7 pawn falls. It's the same problem with the rook as well. So you have to kind of go like bishop e6, but that's not desirable, is it?
Yeah.
That's not desirable, and also there are some new problems for white there if that happens. There is ideas like knight into e6 in the air, and I think this is like the worst quality of Arjun sometimes.
Worst quality?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he wins so dominatingly that he makes the match a bit of a no contest.
Okay. Yeah, but he's too strong. Now we can clearly see how strong is he, and even though he's extremely tired, we know that his brain is still working.
I don't know if he knows what tired means.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're young.
Yeah, I know. True. It's an 18-year-old thing. 95 check.
95 check, c7 pawn is hanging. If you go king d8, then f7 pawn is hanging. If you just want to on-hold here, the hold things here, you can always play f4, then rook d1. But yeah, 95 is straightforward here. This check. 23
Yeah, f4 minutes. Also looks strong because then you have 2 threats. Yeah, one is 95, knight at f7.
Yeah, he goes for
That's also a good sign when he makes a move that you suggest.
Yeah, it's not just going to this only line, that it's just leads to some trades. 23 minutes before the end of this segment, and now we know why he really wanted to waste the time of the previous segment. Yeah, he was just playing this drawish endgame, not hoping that his opponent will lose. I don't believe that he was actually hoping that he can win 3 versus 3 within rook endgame. I don't really believe in that, but he just wanted to spend more time. He needs to go in the shortened time control where he is, as we can see, absolute favorite.
That might very well be true, Keti. That might very well be true. And but I don't think even Arjun expected to have such a dream run, after being down 4-3. There was a time when Muradli was completely dominating the match. He was outplaying Arjun in almost each game, getting better positions almost each game. And things have turned around to such an extent. And now he has it's like a buffet, buffet of pawns. He can literally choose which one he wants. And it's a really nice buffet.
Buffet? Yeah, okay, food. Buffet like, what? What's that reference now? Okay, yeah. You can choose. That's a menu. That's how I call. You can just choose anything you want, and he goes with h7 pawn. Rook c8 seemed like a mouse click or something, but in fact this rook c8 guards c7 pawn. So after knight d5, you will not lose that pawn. But here, after this knight c7, you can always play knight d5 for this reason. Black played here c6 to avoid that. Rook d1 here makes sense, and we have already on the board. Knight to c5.
Knight c5, I can go b4, no? And yeah. You're losing this piece, right?
96 maybe.
Then it's checkmate.
Yeah, it's checkmate. Oh wow, beautiful. And we had a resignation. Another win for Arjun here. 6 points lead. It's a lot. And yeah, I can hardly just imagine what Muradli is thinking. He is not the happiest person today, but he has still to play 20 more minutes this segment and then bullet segment. But Sri, you know what? He has to enjoy the match for sure. Just
I'm not sure if I would enjoy if I was losing like 7 games in a row. I would get into an absolute tilt.
Can get.
I mean, I've been in this situation, both against Nihal and Arjun. I have played a lot of training blips against them, and I have been in this situation where they would beat me literally no matter what the position is, and they would beat me several games in a row. And I understand the feeling completely of their opponents. You would get into this desperate state where you feel like no matter what you do, you're going to lose, and you feel helpless. Yeah. And again, I've seen this happen to some really strong players as well. So I used to feel pretty bad about myself, like, being a grandmaster and then you lose so badly. You get crushed like this. And then I saw these guys doing it to some world-class players.
Yeah, if you don't stop now, I will cry, kids. I felt so sorry for you for a moment. But that's a training, right? That's a training session. So
yes, it's a training session, but
you
when
also
you play these games very fast,
they train you. Yeah, just think in that way. They think that you train them, but in fact, they train you. How about that?
That's true. That's absolutely true. They train me to philosophize about life. They train me to accept defeats. They train me to be humble. Yes. But Keti, there was this point when Nihal was playing against Richard Rapport, who's like in the world's top 5 right now. He played against Richard Rapport in the Speed Chess Championship. And he was beating Richard Rapport like this, with like a 10-point margin. Imagine that. And when I saw those matches, I felt like, oh, okay, so this happens to other people too. It's not just me. It's not such a bad thing. I felt so much better when I saw it happen to the best players in the world as well. But I mean, it's just the nature of the Speed Chess format, and it's the nature of playing a lot of blitz games in succession. You just don't have that recovery time. So when one falls, it gets into the domino effect. Everything falls. And it's so hard to stop that momentum. It's a bit like this
Yeah.
arm wrestling match, you know. So there's some very strong force pushing against you, and when you're down, it's so hard to overpower and get up when the opponent is strong. Against a weaker opponent, yes, you have the ability to recover. But
Yeah.
when your opponent is stronger
Trick.
or equal, it's so hard to win against the momentum, to overpower against the momentum.
True.
And that is the reason why momentum is so important in these kind of speeches matches.
Yeah. When you have your momentum, you have to get as much points as possible. That's going to change a lot. Sure. Do you think if we have this option here at the Split Championship to just to resign the match, do you think players will use that, or they will still fight until the end?
No, if there is an option to resign the match, I think a lot of people would do that, because at some point it's brutal. It's just brutal mentally. You lose the will to fight. It's what Fischer said about his opponent. Yeah, he wants to crush his opponent's will to compete or something like this. This happens in a very real way in chess. But this game, it doesn't seem to be going Arjun's way, Katie. Things are changing.
Yeah, this blunder happened. I don't know what's the blunder.
No, knight f2 is checkmate.
Oh, knight g5 maybe?
Yeah, knight g5. Start with knight g5, remove this knight, and then you take the pawn.
Rook g5? Oh, wow.
Just take this knight, I think. Yeah, f3 is also pretty strong. Just remove this knight. No, I think Arjun played this game a bit too recklessly, and Muradli is fighting back. It's happening a little bit here. The arm is fighting back.
Yeah, 96 maybe to not to drop f5 pawn. If you drop f5 pawn, you also trade the queens, and then you drop the knight on d7. So 96 is the move I can. So, oh no, he's going for rook to g8.
Yeah, he's going all in. He's going all in. He wants to get this bishop into the business.
F takes e, t takes e. That's dangerous.
Yeah, he wants to get this bishop into the business, but I thought he could just do rook g1. Computer doesn't like it. Is it? But what's the problem? Maybe is the no. I don't see what's the problem. It looks pretty good for. I think there was some hidden tactic there.
There was a tactic. I was thinking about knight g3, but that was not.
Yeah, but then there's a check on f5.
Yeah. Maybe queen e3 was their better option than queen f4, because additionally, when you have queen on e3, you want to play knight f2.
Yeah.
G2. I do like this move. Whenever you play e7, e3, I'll take your bishop on b7.
Yeah, I think Arjun's going to lose this one. It's going to be much needed momentum in favor of Muradli.
Yeah. Now queen goes back on d6 and bishop e4 wins the pawn on e4, and then on f5 the thing's gonna just
yeah, I think it's just
down.
going to
yeah.
And now maybe just d5 check, yeah, closed on this bishop. Or yeah, queen g6 rook f7 and queen g8 is checkmate. Rolling checkmate.
Yep, that was a much needed win for Muradli, as Shri just pointed out. Now we do have 5-point lead for Arjun, 13 more minutes. That's not too much of the game. It's like 4, 3. Do you think it will be more than 4 games in this time?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think 4 games. And in the 3+1, so it was 5-4 in favor of Arjun in the 5+1 portion. So far in the 3+1 portion, it's been 5.5 for Arjun and 1.5 for Muradli. So we had 7 games so far. I think something around 10 games is usually normal, Katie, in the 3+1 portion of 60 minutes. Because 3+3 is 6 and it lasts 60 minutes. So around 10 games is normal, mathematically speaking. but sometimes it can go for longer. When one
Yeah,
of the
because of the
games,
agreement.
yeah, I think sometimes it can just go for longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I expect about two more games, yeah,
Mhm.
two or three in this segment.
All right.
It's a good old Benoni defense on the board here. Benoni means
Let's
son
go.
of suffering in Hebrew,
Son of suffering or sorrow.
son of sorrow.
So,
But I play Benoni with black, so I
I like Benoni. I don't play with black, but I do like it. Every time my opponent thinks, I always think there's a good chance here. Actually, at this point, after bishop b5, I think a takes b5 makes more sense here than to push b4 or c4. A5 pawn is also hanging, and look at this sacrifice, what white just did. Gave up e5 pawn to pin the knight on f6. So now if it's white move, just one more move, f takes e5 was the move that white wanted to play. And now bishop f5 was on time to attack knight on e4. I can still take the pawn on e5, but in that case, rook takes e5 is going to be fine, as the bishop from f5 closes the f file, and rook cannot really make any role here.
It's the match is still on, yeah. The momentum is on Muradli's side, and he's got a very good position out of the opening here. If he wins one more game, he closes the gap to 4 points. If he can score two more wins in the segment without losing any, then the bullet portion is going to be interesting because Keti, the match between Raunak and Muradli kind of went in a similar way. Muradli looked down and out. He was totally down in the blitz portions, but he made up for it in the bullet portion. I don't think that's an accident. And Raunak is a pretty formidable bullet player himself. He's very good at speeches. He reached the final of the previous year's Junior Speeches Championship, losing eventually against Nihal Sarin. So I don't think the match is still over, Katie. I think there's still quite some way to go here. And Arjun has gone into a long think, or do I need to refresh?
Yeah, that's I don't know what's the reason for it. Like sometimes, oh no, we have his video. We have his video. I have never seen this kind of posture ever before. If you're like, chess players usually like to put the hands on the head or just here, but never.
Do you think he
seen
fell
this
asleep by
one. For a
accident?
moment? No, no.
He went
I
into a
don't
really,
believe
really,
he
really, really long
fell
think, and
asleep.
then he came up with
He
this
is fully
move
focused.
King
Really, I
H1,
don't believe in that.
which the computer doesn't like, Katie. And again, he has his eyes kind of half closed. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because the good thing is that would kind of motivate him to sleep after this game. The bad thing is it could potentially affect this match itself.
Yeah, I'm sure that Arjun is not sleeping, but somehow our chat went to sleeping mode. And the last comment I have seen was just some minutes ago. That's a lot of time, guys. Come on, we need to hype up the chat a little bit. And to do that, we have to bring some stories through, as I understood. Now I understood so far, commentating, we always need some stories. So your turn to go with the story time.
But a story about what? About Arjun?
Yeah, can be. Life lessons.
There is just so many stories. It's so hard to choose.
Okay, give us some funny story from Hero trip that you recently had at a tournament.
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything right off the bat. A lot of those funny stories are, things that are not possible to say on stream.
Okay, makes sense.
And Arjun would really beat me up if I do that.
Okay. Today we had a bit of chat. I'm gonna tell the story. A little bit chat between me and Shri, and I got a bit confused. I didn't understand what Shri meant in several messages. And for a moment, I thought someone stole your phone and was texting me, like it happened earlier. Someone was writing in the chat with Arjun's YouTube account. I was like, should I ask, is this Shri or not, or just ignore and just give some it's just like neutral answers. It was just a bad communication, I think. Like I did not understand some
Wait,
points.
what are you talking about? Which messages are you talking about? Did someone actually text you when I was not looking? Because that could happen here with these guys. And I do keep my phone. I did keep my phone a lot out there, without having it with me.
No, it was you. It was you. I'm sure it was you. Don't play that game now.
But how do you know it was me?
No. Is Black going to win this game, Shri? What's going on?
No.
It's too much, right?
It's complexity with 2 less time.
Yeah.
It's that zone where things start going wrong for Muradli.
Yeah, you see now. Well, rookie one, I think
he had rookie one. He missed that,
yeah.
And now he's lost his chance.
Okay.
Oh, Arjun is also in that zone of having 2 less time.
Check.
Queen to b6, queen e5 check. It's made Arjun is losing this one. King f2, queen f4, king e2, queen f1, and king e3, rook d3 is checkmate.
Wow. Oh, that's getting really scary for Arjun. And some hope is coming back for Muradli, as he scored 2 games in a row, and now he just reduced the point advantage for Arjun to 4 points only.
And Arjun 4 points
only. Only is the key keyboard there. Just you have 4 points advantage only.
Yeah, I know. It's like there's prices that people say, like how much does this cost? So it costs only $40,999 only. Will that be cash or check?
Yeah. Only. It's a very important word. But Shri, we know that when you're losing too many games in a row, you are not happy. And we can see on Arjun's face, he looks very upset right now, fully focused, trying to be concentrated. Do you think he will go for some like equal positions and hold a draw here, or he will just anyway play?
I think he will. No, he's trying to strike back, Keti. He went for the King's Indian defense, and he went for this risky opening. And this is going to be the last game of the 3+1 segment. So I think Arjun is going to try and make the best use of it. Queen a5 with the idea of b4 there. The pawn on e4 is a bit of a weakness, and so is the pawn on e2. So Arjun has got something here, yeah, but it's still more pleasant for white because he has a robust center, and he has a pair of bishops, but mainly the space advantage in the center. Arjun really has to try and strike with something like b4 here, or rook c4.
I like rook c4 move, but here we have it. At some point, you can always just try to sacrifice some of the pieces, and then get rook d4. No, that's too much. Maybe you can't really have then follow up, but you can always get another rook on c8 and then push b4. Even though that white has here more space advantage in the center, these pawns can be your target, right? You can just try to win e4 pawn, knight c5, for instance. Before
yeah, there's a lot of counterplay incoming, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Meanwhile, there has been No grandmasters in the chat today, yeah, because Arjun is playing. We did have an international master in the chat though, apart from Rakesh, Siddhant Mohapatra from India, but no grandmasters in the chat. Apart from me, of course, I'm in the chat sometimes.
Afraid to humble me. No. Yeah, true. What is Sunday, Shri? We don't have any stars joining us. Well, that's okay. It's not end yet. This match is not end yet. 2 last minutes, 2.5 minute here before the end of this segment, and then we're going to have the most fun part. Three bullet part is gonna be a fire between these two players. I kind of have a feeling they just making it a little bit slow now, but the bullet portion will be extremely interesting, and we might have a lot of sacrifices or blunders and crazy games. That's what we are here for, basically.
Yes, but Keti, what do you think is going to be the margin of Arjun's lead when we go into the bullet portion? Do you think it's going to be +3 or +5 or +4?
Hard to say. You're just basically asking me how this game gonna end, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on.
It's quite complicated, right? Here, Black has more time, and those pawns are they're just gone on the queen side, but White has really good play on the king side. I'm not a big fan of this knight on e8, rook on f8. I think on that side, the White is stronger. Here, White is taking more time to capture back on e6. I think he's going something else, like maybe bishop g4 to get this bishop here and to capture it with a bishop. That's one option. Another option is just actually bishop on g7, but maybe not the best one. So White is taking a lot of time, and he goes bishop to g7. Knight takes g7, and now he takes the pawn on a6 entry. If you take the knight e6 now, you will be met by bishop d5. That is crucial move for Black. All the pieces on this diagonal, and I don't know, you give a name of this d5 bishop, Sri. We're good at that.
I don't know. How Nihal Sarin is in JSCC?
Can be. I was thinking about this metal thing that you put some of the vegetables or some meat, some potatoes, and fry the things on barbecue. I think I'm hungry thinking of this.
Yeah. Me talking about the buffet doesn't help, yeah?
Yeah.
No, but the white rooks are also hungry, and they have pawns all around to eat.
Knight f4, and Black is going for a rook trade. I didn't really expect that to happen. I think Black was thinking a bit scared of the 2 rooks. Maybe we can get on the 7th rank and create some checkmate in net. And now 95 to guard b4 pawn. 93 possibility.
Yeah, but the knight gets trapped. Bishop e2, knight b2, b4, and knight gets trapped here on b2. Is the problem. And looks like Arjun has just lost, and it's going to be a 3-point lead only. From a 4-point lead only.
h5, rook b7 probably, and here at this point.
But the knights are tricky in general. So Muradli has to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knight c3 can always.
But you can't move this knight.
How about knight c5 at some point and then push d4? Yeah, d5 he goes right away.
Yeah, but when you move the knight, the b4 pawn hangs. Yeah? Oh wait, Arjun's playing for a win? Why did he not repeat that? Oh, he's pushing the d pawn. He's pushing the d pawn. After d2, it's unstoppable. And the king is moving forward. But that hit stops. The knights have limitation.
Knight e4, d4 now is a threat.
The knights have limitation, but Keti, knight a2 and knight c3 incoming. Knight, Rook in d4. He has to take rook in d4. And now it's a draw, Keti. Wow, what a save. But Arjun's going for the win.
He is definitely going for a win. King G3,
Ambition is not always a good thing.
No. The king, the bishop is just controlling everything. Should not risk too much.
He has to make a draw now, I think.
Yeah.
H3. He was waiting for that.
H3, and you're winning a piece here. And I think the game as well, because this knight is untouchable and the pawn is untouchable. Oh my God.
The king is coming in.
Jesus.
He was just waiting for it. And Arjun enters the bullet portion with a 5-point lead, guys. A 5-point lead. Or is it a 5-point lead only?
Only 5 point. I don't know. I don't know. Look at Muradli. He is like, what the hell is going on? I think he was checking what he could do it better, and he is very disappointed. We can see it on the screen. He has all the reasons to be so disappointed because it was a draw. And Shri, to be honest, Muradli lost a lot of points in a drawish endgame. Also, this queen endgame was just draw. This one was just draw. And in some games, actually, he was the one who was pushing. And then out of nowhere, Arjun was just coming into the game alive and was the one who was winning it. So I don't know how he's doing it. Really, I don't know.
I think it's just his speed, Kate. His speed coming in. He has this time advantage, and then he puts the clock pressure on his opponent. And that's the reason why it is so. But at the end of the 3+1 segment, Arjun is leading by 5 points. He has a score of 11.5 against Muradli's 6.5, and he has a massive lead. But guys, it's still not over. Raunak also had a lead against Muradli, but he made this brilliant comeback in the bullet portion and managed to turn that match around. So you never know. And the bullet portion will begin in a short time, but we'll be back after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the quarterfinal of the Junior Speeches Championship between Arjun Erigaisi and Mohammad Muradli. The match is tantalizingly poised. Arjun has a 5 point lead as we enter into the bullet segment, but but this is exactly the segment where Muradli took over against Ronak Sadwani, who was the finalist of the previous year's Junior Speeches Championship and knocked out Ronak in the round of 16, which was perhaps one of the biggest upsets in the history of Junior Speeches Championships. Will Mohammad Muradli be able to pull it off one more time? Or is Arjun going to be like, oh, it worked against Ronak, but not against me? We'll we'll witness it really soon as the bullet portion is set to kick off any time, literally any time. What are your thoughts, Katie?
My thoughts are that Arjun is feeling that he's in a good shape despite everything. He has nice evening plans ahead of him. He has a very good move. He wants to win this match, and he's on the way to do it. So he has just half an hour more to be focused, and he has all the things to achieve his goal. And I think Arjun will not really miss this chance. And also 5 points is a little bit too big gap. He has to win 5 games in a row, and then he has to start to win even more, Shri. So that's a bit of challenge here. The games has been started. We have Arjun with 5 pieces, Muradli with black pieces from Muradli side, as it happened in the two other segments in the first round.
Just give me a moment, Katie.
Okay,
I
you
think
you
I
don't have a
have.
game.
Yeah, for some. Oh, yeah, I got it.
But black
Yeah,
has then after, if c takes b5, then black has d5, Shri. If he takes d5, then e4, and you're losing a piece.
Queen d1, rook d4. He missed rook d4. And look at Arjun's speed there.
Wow.
More than 1 minute.
I missed that too, but it was. Wow, rook d4 was amazing, impressive one.
Yeah, amazing one. Amazing one. It's tomorrow is like the last day of our training session here.
Mhm.
And I guess Arjun's determined to give a sweet farewell to everyone. Farewell with sweet memories.
Wow. So you have two participants of Junior Speed Chess Championship, right? Nihal and Arjun right now.
Yeah, and they're such good friends.
They're good friends.
It's yeah. They're very very good friends.
Yeah,
It's
usually when there's a huge competition and they're in the same age, it's you can hardly see friends more than opponents. So that's something that I'm personally jealous of, to have two people friends.
yeah. Rook d1 check. Oh my god, he missed it with 3 seconds only. And it's a backrank checkmate, and it's a
2 games in a row.
7 point lead for Arjun.
Yeah.
A 7
He
point
plays
lead
like
for
a
Arjun
boss.
with just 24 minutes to go.
Yeah.
At what point do you think it's going to become impossible for his opponent to catch up with him?
For now, what we have seen, Arjun is just doing good. He's feeling good. Maybe at some point when he gets too much of the points, then he might just lose concentration a little bit. But now we have 7 points difference, right? It's already time to lose the concentration. For me, I would lose already too long away ago.
No, but I guess the problem is even when he loses concentration, he's just too fast. He's just too fast. Too fast, too strong. Arjun is a very strong player in Bullet. It's something people have forgotten because he hasn't played a lot of Bullet in recent times. He kind of retired from playing it. He's like, I'm become 18 years old, and I'm going to be more
Really?
responsible in life.
Oh my god. I
Well,
think
not consciously, but
he's just
he
hearting you, like he's pointing you. If I'm retired at the age of 18, then
you should
what
also
about
retire
you
at
at
the
the
age
age
of
of
18.
28? 28?
What? What are you saying?
I think that's what he meant, Shri. It was a sarcastic comment, and you thought that he actually meant it. Oh, please. These kids are very
Katie,
sharp nowadays.
you know that I'm of the same age as Arjun, right?
No.
No, wow. It's happening now. He's losing this exchange.
It's happening now.
Yep. He's losing the exchange.
Okay,
But
it back.
oh, Queen E5 and the knight's also going to get exchanged. I think this one
Queen D4?
Muradli is going to win. But look at again the speed difference.
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you want to trade queens with the exchange down as well?
No, I didn't see this. So I thought it was the only variation there. But now he's going for b4 pawn. He has more than compensation here, bishop and the 2 pawns. Now he's trading and he's gonna try to secure b3 pawn, or also if you give up that pawn, activate your bishop, bring this king on g3. Oh, sorry, g2. Maybe that's still drawish, but the rook on f1 will be just a very passive piece.
Yeah. Also the bishop on c6, yeah, on a4. Not what the bishop was born for.
Do you think here black has some practical chances to win?
No, I think it's very good chances because the white pieces are just completely paralyzed. Oh, he's going for a mate. G4 was made there.
Yeah.
I don't think this G6 H5 was a great idea, because these pawns become weak, and now this bishop is on a good diagonal. Yeah. So the bishop comes to C4. I think now it's just impossible for black to win. And in fact, Arjun might start playing for a win. He might start pushing.
You know what? Yeah, I would not be surprised if he goes now for a win.
Yeah.
King G2.
Arjun's such a deadly flag, wasn't it?
Yeah, if black makes just one mistake, maybe he will try. But for now, he's not really in hurry to do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a repetition now.
Yeah.
No, Muradli doesn't want to draw.
And he doesn't really need to.
But this is really hurting his match clock, yeah?
This can continue longer and he can win on time. Time on clock, 20 minutes, and why not to do so? You will never lose this game, right?
Yeah, no, finally, there's a repetition, and Arjun keeps his 7-point lead with 20 minutes to go. And also, I think it's less than 20 minutes to go, yeah?
Yeah, so here we have this position once again. Looks King's Indian. And 97 has been played. We have moves really fast now. See, file is open. Probably knight will get on c file at c5 at some point. Another knight can get on d7, and black can also start to push the pawn on f5 tree. But no, he's going for to play on the queen side again.
Yeah, for now on the queen side, and maybe just both the pawns are traded. It's bad for black here, Katie. The d6 pawn is falling, and it's about 19 minutes to go here, and Arjun has a 7-point lead, so he's not totally safe yet. If Muradli starts winning here and wins all the games, he can still get a comeback going.
He gave up d6 pawn to get b2, but first he tries to trap the queen if possible. Then now b2 pawn is gone, and in the end of
but the e4 pawn is taken in return. Yeah,
you can take that pawn. You can definitely take that pawn. But d5 pawn seems still very scary. Now, of course, you can take the knight. You can just play queen c8 maybe, and then bishop h6 tree.
Queen c6.
Queen c6 also possible here.
Yeah, quincy is also possible, but the
Yeah, I like
computer
queen c8
doesn't
more
like it.
because you always have this bishop h6 threat and your opponent has to watch it out.
True. Makes a lot of sense. Do you think black is pretty much okay here, Katie? Do you think he managed to
Yeah,
equal us?
yeah, I
I'm so
think.
hypnotized by the computer evaluation part. Okay. Oh, queen b8 check. He missed queen b8 check. Oh
He's
my god,
blunder.
he's gonna lose this. That is a deadly blow. I think this is the last decisive blow. I think this is the end of this
Now
match.
95 probably.
No, that
No,
would drop the
okay,
f6
you don't
pawn.
need that. Yeah.
Oh, he did that. Katie, what did you do? Why did you do that to Arjun?
What I meant before, not.
But it's the same idea. Okay. We have things under control. It's checkmate now.
Oh,
It's
come on,
checkmate.
should we just admit that we're both very strong? And me and Arjun are better team than you and Arjun. Just admit it. Come on.
If the team makes Arjun win, I'm happy to give Arjun to you.
whatever it makes it right work. No, it was very good. It worked out. You wanted to checkmate Sri.
Yeah, if you say so. It's all intentional, yeah? Blendering the piece.
He wanted checkmate and he saw it. I saw that too. I didn't saw that, but he saw it, so he improved it. E5.
Sure. You know, when your guy's winning, you can say whatever you want. I know that feeling.
Yeah, I know too. I know that feeling too. Bishop. Can I just take this bishop? You can trade everything, and in the end, well, there will be the isolated pawn. But I think black has nothing to worry here in this position. There's not any weakness. You can take it with a pawn. Now the bishop you can also trade. Oh, black's only problem now is the score and the time on the clock. So he needs to win every position, every game from now on.
Yes, it's the only problem, but it's like saying the only problem in his life is he doesn't have any money. You know, it's the only problem, but it's a very big problem.
It's a big problem. True. I do like this before move because this gives black c3 square. But on the other hand, it also gives up c4 square, which was already occupied by white's knight. And the black could not really get this knight on c3 right away as c6 pawn was hanging. So for this reason, rook c8 was played there, and white just realized that knight on h4 does nothing, and he wanted to bring it into the game. Now knight can go to d4 at some point and attack the c6 pawn and the bishop on e6, and also guard b3. So this knight maneuvering was just on time, and to also avoid the lose of the b3 very important pawn. Now you can just take the bishop here and activate the rook. It's just good.
Yeah, I think Arjun's taking over this one too, and a 9-point lead. And again, Katie, look at the time difference. It's a 30-second advantage, and in bullet, that's like half the time. And that has really been, I think, the major difference between these two players today. I think Arjun has just been at a different level in terms of speed. He's just been fast at a different level, and Muradli managed to cope up with it initially, just like Denis Lazavik did, but he wasn't able to do it for a sustained period of time. And 94 was like the only counter threat in this position. Arjun takes care of it, cleans up the pawns on the king side, and is set to go towards a 9-point lead here.
Oh, there will be a checkmate here, Sri. And here we have the game over. So 16 points for Arjun, 7 for Muradli. Last 14 minutes, and that's the moment when you really need this button, the red button to just to press and stop the match and just admit that you resign. Or you can also treat it other way, like just as it's another match on chess.com, bullet match, and it's not going well and you have to play.
I mean, it's hard to do it. Yeah, I mean, we can theoretically say it, but when you have been consistently losing for 3 hours in a row, Oh, Rook C8 wins the queen. That's a quick win for Muradli. Arjun switched off completely there.
Ooh,
He switched off
nice.
completely and is he wasting time now? No, he just resigns.
Why you said so?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh,
That's a mouse slip. That's a mouse slip.
what's
Katie, the
happened? That
match is
was
still not over.
Jesus. Oh my God. 2 points for gift as a gift. Okay, this one is not aimed, but it's extra piece. And Muradli can convert this one. Oh my God, Arjun. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think Arjun thought the match was over, but
Yeah.
it's not over until it's over. And Katie, I think you kind of started it with all these red buttons and stuff.
Oh, you blame me again. Come on. Ah, come
But you started it. It's the truth. You started it. You went like, oh my god, there's a red button, and Arjun was like, oh, okay, it's game over. Katie says so, so it must be true. And he listens to you, Katie.
I'm
He
speechless.
makes the
I'm
moves you say.
speechless. I'm speechless. It's my fault that he's listening. Great, 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 great. It's not his fault that
Because
he
it's your
played
fault.
bishop h6. Like, come on, who does that? This is so common trick. Who does that?
Arjun is a sweet kid, Katie. He would never be wrong. So obviously, it's the adult who has to take the blame.
I don't know. That's crazy, but he has to waste his time. He has to wait. It's nothing wrong with that. He has to keep to play.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but these Indian kids, they won't do that. They won't waste time. They won't let it run to zero. They would
want to play
consider it
more.
disrespectful to their opponents, and I think that makes sense too. In a way, it is disrespectful to the opponent. Yeah, I know Hikaru uses that as a.
Absolutely not. No, Shri, come on.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't judge it either way, but I know that these kids they probably won't do that unless they are really losing the match and they need un- unless there's a risk that they might lose the match.
I don't know. Once I did something at the chess tournament, very important thing. My opponent did not notice the time that was running, and I told her that she didn't press or whatever. And in the end, I told to my coach that I reacted this way, and I saw how much disappointed he was in me. When it comes to the sport, you don't do anything wrong. You're just doing what it's you can do these things. It's not something that you insult your opponent and you doing something wrong or hard. It's just your right to do it, free, and this shows your spirit of fighting and your spirit to will to win the match. So yeah.
Yes, it's true, but I think also. Oh,
Not
wait,
true.
wait, wait! What was the Queen F4 check? Oh, look at that! It was so cute.
Oh, stalemate. You see, this is beautiful, but it was lost anyway. Queen f4 was a stalemate attempt.
And it's only a 7-point lead now, Kate.
Yep.
Bishop h6 was such a shameless pre-move trick, though.
You can joke about that today.
I know. No, I completely agree with you. I think it's well within one's right to do something like that. But I would also do the same. I would point it out to my opponent. I'd feel pretty uncomfortable myself if my opponent forgets to press the clock and I gain time that way. But it's a very individual thing, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm not that competitive, in general. But maybe that's why I'm not high ranked.
Yeah, Shri, what about this game? Look at this. Black is having really
No, I think Arjun
difficult
has
time.
switched off. Arjun has switched off. Um, you you are talking about pressing the red button. And that's oh wait. What is bishop? Oh, he wants some bishop in c6. You're talking about pressing the red button, guys. There's a subscribe button down there. So do with the subscribe button and like the channel if you haven't. And of course, it's Katie's fault that Arjun kind of switched off
Oh,
completely.
you have these
But now
amazing
he's back in this
marketing
game.
skills, Sri. Amazing marketing. If not a chess player, you could be really good person who can sell whatever product. That's crazy. Always using this momentum.
Oh, I think everyone's good at it.
No.
I think everyone's good at plugging in.
No, this thing went really wrong for white. There were so many pieces for white, and all of them were active. And with like 1-2 move, like in checkers, one piece just took too many of opponent's pieces. And now here we have the position with extra rook for black. That's a huge material advantage. There is a king still on c7, quite weak king. But
Wow.
oh.
Wow. Knight is there
That's a 6 or
rook
something?
c1? Oh my god. It's still not over, Katie. Queen c7, queen c8, both threats.
Queen c5 d1, that's what he's hoping for.
Yeah, this would work if the time situation was opposite, but Muradli has too much time now. Queen e5 is checkmate.
Wow, 3 losses in a row. Muradli really hopes to buy the time somehow, to have this possibility to give up something and get more time on the clock.
Yeah, he's not going to be kind to Arjun after that bishop at 6 shameless free move trick. I would have been so I was like, what? Seriously?
Look at this in the chat. That's actually, they know that Arjun cannot hear me, but I think Antrika is just attacking you right away. Being a political here, diplomat here. Nice one. I like it. It's sassy.
I love PMD's comment on the chat. That's why Shri fits in so well with Katie's chat on Twitch. He automatically blames. No, but I think it's also kind of justified,
yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of having some kind of a show on your channel, Katie?
Show?
Yeah. Like a monthly show or a weekly show. I think it can be named something like, Tea with Katie. And you invite guests with
said what?
Some tea.
Diva Keti?
Tea with Keti.
Diva Keti?
Tea with Keti.
Tea with Keti. Ah. I thought Diva Keti was like, whoa. Where are we going?
No. We're not going like Baywatch. We are.
Oh yeah, okay.
we are talking about a kind of like the late show, or I mean, like those kind of things, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I didn't heard that tea. My brain was ready to counterattack you because I thought that you were attacking me. And I was like, what?
Katie, when do I ever attack you? I'm always nice to you.
That's what you're doing today for last few hours. So I just like,
I'm talking the truth.
What?
I'm just talking the truth.
True. You're talking the truth. No, I'm not. I have never thought of that. But if you have some idea, I'm happy to hear. Because
no, I think it's a pretty nice idea. You can have some kind of tea company sponsor the event, and you have the tea mug showing the sponsor, and
yeah, I need to find a tea company so they can sponsor the tea.
No, when you come to India, we'll find a tea company.
Okay, great. This position here, black has extra pawn tree, but white can hold for a more for some time here, even though he is second on the clock. All he needs is just spend as much time as possible here.
Oh, rook e1 check.
Rook
Dismiss rook e1 check.
e1. Oh no.
He's still playing on here, so he doesn't mind wasting time. Normally he would resign, but he's just still playing on.
He's really tired.
And that would be Arjun's like what, fourth loss in a row?
He just wants this to end because he's tired.
Muradli.
He's winning.
Oh, look at these stalemate tricks. Look at these stalemate tricks. And now he's going to let the time run out. And he's doing it. And it's only like 3 minutes to go, yeah? 2 minutes to go. So we have time for maybe like
6 points.
2 more games.
Yeah, I don't know. Arjun has to play 6 times Bishop h6 and resign right away. I think practically to lose this match with such a big advantage is not possible. And it doesn't really matter now what he does. Like he does here some incredible blunders and premus. We have to give a credit for the work he did before that tree, right? He had all this luxury to lose all these games in a row because it doesn't really change too much. The fact that he is ahead of on score is there, and he's very close to win the match, just 2 minutes away to win the match.
Yes, Keti. He did some really, really, really good work until he listened to you.
Yeah.
And since then, he's been losing how many games in a row? Four losses in a row.
4 games? 5 games?
Wait, didn't he have some No, he's just switched off. He's lost interest. I think he's kind of already thinking about playing games with his friends. No, but this is dangerous for Arjun because, I think it would be nice to carry some positive momentum into the semifinals tomorrow against Hans Niemann.
Yeah, but Sri, he doesn't really want to go crazy because I'm a person who spends too much of my energy and I have no control. I can spend all my energy in one game and then second day I am just without any of the energy. So this is not working. It's okay to do so, I think, as long as you're winning the match. Not to go hard on yourself and just be very focused, but also just to chill a little bit and just smoothly play.
Yeah, true. But yeah, guys, there is going to be the semi-final tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. And I think it's safe to talk about it now because there is hardly 20 seconds more. This is going to be the last game. Arjun has a 5-point lead, so he's set to win this match and take the quarterfinals of the Junior Speed Chess Championship between Arjun and Muradli. Hans Niemann is there waiting in the semi-final. Nihal is there waiting in the final. So, chat, what do you think? Is it going to be Hans or is it going to be Arjun? Who is going to be the favorite for the semi-finals? But either way, we'll be back at 5:30 p.m. Indian time tomorrow.
Well, there's going to be a huge matchup, Sri, like a really big matchup. And between these two players, it's very personal for them. He won.
Absolutely.
Oh, knight f4 is a check. I thought rook e7 was a checkmate. It was white who won, but knight f4 was a check and resignation. Nice.
And with that, Arjun has closed out this match with a 17-11 win. And he has also managed to win the last game of the match, not allowing his opponent any respite at all. The chat is complimenting about tea with Keti,
Yeah. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, I think that's a nice idea. When you come to India, we'll work on
it. Can you be marketing director of the show?
Keti, I'm not that good, but I can be your first guest.
All right, let's take a look now at the graphics to see how these two players got in here and what's the follow coming up. What's the matches? We can bring that on the screen right now, or maybe we can just see it later. Actually, it's not too much, right? Tomorrow there will be Arjun Hans, and the winner of that match will go to match versus Nihal Sarin. And here we have the prices. This is really nice prices here. What we have.
Yeah, Arjun's richer by $750, and he also gets more money because based on how many wins he has achieved in this match today. So it's just going to be the semifinals in about 17 hours. It's not a lot of time, Keti.
Sri, what do you think? Can this affect to Arjun that he just played now? This match is quite late there. And then tomorrow he has another match while his opponent is just probably watching this match and looking the game and relaxing.
I would ask him to sleep, but I don't think that's going to happen.
We will talk about this tomorrow, Sri. You can complain as much as you want.
Yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow. But that was an amazing match. Arjun, the big favorite, but Muradli putting up an admirable fight. And for a long time, it didn't seem clear who was the actual favorite. But Arjun started pulling away in the 3+1 segment, and he really pulled away in such a way that despite having a 4-game loss run in the bullet portion, he was still able to clinch it with a 6-point margin. This was an amazing performance by Arjun. And chat, a big thank you for sticking through despite all the glitches. But tomorrow we'll be back with no glitches and an amazing match to look forward to. So join us tomorrow at 5:15 p.m. And that's me signing off. I'll leave the last words to you, Keti.
Thank you, Shri. It was an amazing match today. Congratulations to Arjun and all his fans. Tomorrow will be an amazing day, and I really don't know what's going to happen because these two players have such a history. They played recently over the board tournament, and both of them shared first and second places. So it's going to be very interesting. We don't know who is the favorite in this match. Both are amazing chess players, already raised stars, and we're gonna see all of this. And also on the other hand, we have Nihal Sarin waiting for his opponent in the final. So a lot of fun ahead of us for tomorrow. Today we all need to have a really good rest and get some energy for tomorrow's match. Thank you so much, Sri, for this commentary. I had a lot of fun as always, and also big thanks goes to our chat, who is always very kind to me and little bit kind to you too as well. Sometimes I think you're fine with that. And a big thanks to our producer who was putting this show together and gave us a chance to have both hands free and the brain also free to just focus on chess parts and to do the commentary. So you guys, this is final. Goodbye from our side and see you tomorrow at the same place, a little bit earlier than today. Bye.